is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning. We apologize for a late start due to a massive technical failure. But in the news, boiling point, BPL union threatens industrial action. The government applies for stay and leave to appeal the citizenship ruling in the Court of Appeal. And the third tranche of vaccines from COVAX delayed, according to PAHO. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's the start of the end of the old way.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Tuesday, June 29th, 2021. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, we apologize for our very late start today. I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Don Sargent will be joining us. Also this morning, we will hear the unbelievable story of a woman, a Bahamian woman, born here who has been denied citizenship for the reasons that we will be discussing today involving citizenship rights. You won't want to miss that story coming up. And then in Morning Blend Business, you've seen what happened in Florida with that building collapse. What are the rules and the codes and the standards here? Could it possibly happen here? We'll talk to a noted contractor about that. That's all straight ahead. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning.
Wake up.
In the overnight, the Bahamas Electrical Workers Union giving BPL 14 days to resolve several matters of concern, including what it alleges are poor working conditions on the Family Islands and unfair promotions and hiring practices, all claims the company denies. The union warning yesterday that industrial action could follow if its matters not satisfactorily addressed. The BWU President Kyle Wilson called on the minister responsible, Desmond Bannister, and the minister who was in charge of BPL to, quote, please step in now because we give them 14 days to fix our problems or they will face the wrath of the Bahamas Electrical Workers Union. Asked what would happen after 14 days, Wilson saying, quote, you wait and see, look around you. Wilson said industrial action has not been ruled out. The demands are made as dozens of BPL employees demonstrated outside the power company's headquarters on Blue Hill Road yesterday. In a statement, BPL described the demonstration as, quote, an illegal industrial action. During yesterday's demonstration, which lasted nearly 2 hours, BPL employees called for the removal of BPL's CEO, Whitney Hasty, as well. The government has applied to the Court of Appeal for leave to appeal to the Privy Council its decision to uphold the landmark 2020 ruling on citizenship, as well as a stay of the ruling. Last week, in a 3-2 decision, the Court of Appeal affirmed a ruling by Supreme Court Justice Ian Winder that every person born in the Bahamas shall become a citizen of the Bahamas if at the date of their birth either parent, irrespective of their marital status, is a citizen of the Bahamas. Winder's ruling allows children born out of wedlock to Bahamian men and foreign women in the country to be entitled to citizenship from birth. Following the Court of Appeals decision, Attorney General Carl Bethel said the government intended to appeal the matter to the Privy Council and seek a stay. In an affidavit filed on June 25th in support of the application, Kingsley Smith of the Office of the Attorney General asked the court to, quote, exercise its discretion to grant the stay of the said ruling to allow the applicants to pursue their appeal and have the Privy Council pronounce on the merits or otherwise of the decision. The Bahamas' third tranche of AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine will not arrive in the Bahamas until the end of July. That's according to the Pan American Health Organization. The shipment, which will not be the final tranche of the vaccine, was expected to arrive by the end of this month. The delay, we're told, is due to global demand exceeding global supply. And the Ministry of Health says that a recent spike in COVID cases on Bimini points to a possible cluster on the island. Of the 43 new cases reported in the Bahamas on Sunday, 11 were reported on Bimini and Cat Key. The ministry says that the new cases reported indicate evidence of clustering that is linked to a local resort. Of the remaining new cases, there were 29 reported on New Providence, 2 on Grand Bahama, and 1 on Abaco. Another COVID-19 related death was also reported. A 79-year-old man, a resident of New Providence, died on June 26th, bringing the total death count now to 246. No new recoveries were reported, and the active case count is 710. Overseas, the BBC reporting on a study that suggests that mixing COVID vaccines gives good protection. A mix and match approach to COVID vaccines using different brands of jab for first and second doses gives good protection against the pandemic. According to a UK study, the COMCOV trial looked at the efficacy of either 2 doses of Pfizer, 2 of AstraZeneca, or 1 of them followed by the other. All combinations worked well, priming the immune system. The knowledge could offer flexibility for vaccine rollout. According to experts, the trial results also hint that people who've received 2 doses of AstraZeneca vaccine could have a stronger immune response if they were given a different jab as a booster if recommended in the autumn. UK's Deputy Chief Medical Officer, Professor Jonathan Van Tam, says that there's no reason to change the current successful same-dose vaccine schedules in the UK, however, given vaccines were in good supply and saving lives. But he did suggest that it's something to look at in the future, and that mixing doses could provide even greater flexibility for a booster program. Some countries are already using mixed doses. Spain and Germany are offering the Pfizer or Moderna mRNA vaccines as a second dose to younger people who have already received the first dose of AstraZeneca vaccine following concerns about rare blood clots, and rather than about efficacy. In sports, the relay team's on the bubble, just like it is for the men. The situation for the women's 4x400-meter relay team squad seems to be a borderline scenario going into the deadline of the qualification for the Olympic Games. Running together for the first time as a quartet, Zanisha Anderson, Shani Miliwibo, Megan Moss, and Anthony Strawn in that order, clocking 3:29.40 at the Blue Marlin Last Chance meet at the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium Monday, easily defeating the other team in the race, a makeshift squad from the U.S. However, at the moment, it's uncertain if that will be good enough to get them into the Olympics. You can read more about this in today's Guardian Sports section. And after nearly 2 years off the mat, 2019 President Cup's winner and the 2018 U.S. Open Judo champ, Xavier Johnson, returned to the U.S. for a summer of competition that has already led him to 5 medals in the span of 3 weeks. The 15-year-old Bahamian judoka walking away from the South Carolina State Championships with an impressive 4 gold medals, and also representing the Bahamas at the prestigious USA Judo Junior Olympics, walking away with a bronze. He now has his eyes set on placing in the 2021 U.S. Judo Open and the ATGA, the American Traditional Jiu-Jitsu Association, and AJJF, the American Judo and Jiu-Jitsu Federation National Championships, among other tournaments. can read more on these stories and more in today's Guardian Sports section. And overseas from the NBA, the Clippers staving off elimination. Paul George had just wrapped up a brilliant night, scoring 41 points to keep the LA Clippers season alive. He shared some hugs and fist bumps with teammates and assistant coaches before he finally got to head coach Tyrone Lue. And there were words of encouragement. And some apparently too hot for TV, as there were some bleeps going on there. But anyway, the Clippers beating the Suns 116-102 last night in Game 5 of the Western Conference Finals. Game 6 is Wednesday. The Suns have a 3-2 advantage. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. In your weather for today, we've got rich tropical moisture coupled with lingering troughing across the area. That's going to continue to trigger bouts of unsettled weather over the Bahamas. Meanwhile, building high pressure will maintain moderate to fresh breezes across the islands through tonight. Boaters should be alert due to the threat of possible waterspouts, along with gusty winds, higher seas, and reduced visibility to 3 nautical miles or less in heavy showers and thunderstorms. Beachgoers in the central and southeast Bahamas should exercise caution due to the risk of rip currents along eastern and southern shorelines. For all areas today, we're looking at variably cloudy, warm, and breezy conditions with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms through tonight. Small craft caution is in effect for the central and southeast Bahamas. Look for gusty winds and higher seas in or near heavy showers and thunderstorms. Winds east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots, but gusty at times, increasing to 15 knots in the northwest Bahamas and easterly at 15 to 20 knots in the central and southeastern Bahamas. Seas 2 to 4 feet, but occasionally higher in gusts, building to 3 to 5 feet in the northwestern islands, but 4 to 6 feet in the central and southeast Bahamas. Another hot day in store, highs getting up to around 90 Fahrenheit, 32 Celsius. Overnight lows getting down to about 74 Fahrenheit, 23 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have your extended outlook coming up after traffic in just a bit. It's time for a break, but when we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9, your home for fresh news and smart talk all day.
Technology serves to make our lives better, so why not your business too? At Custom Computers, we've been maintaining our knowledge and relationships with top tech companies since 1987 and carry only the most trusted brands like Apple, Microsoft, HP, and more. No company has helped more businesses build reliable IT systems than Custom Computers. You name it, we've done it. Call 396-1101 to talk to any of our business experts. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
Postpaid with the Live just got better. Say hello to more with our new Liberty Prime plan. 800 text and talk minutes and 15 gigabytes of data to do the things you love right here at home and even when you travel. With the all-new Liberty Prime, Liberty More, Liberty Premium, and Liberty Elite, you're good at home and good to roam. Roam again. Alive. Believe in best. Believe in best.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up.
We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook us, facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC, 422-GR96, 422-4796 standard text rate supply. Coming up this morning, more weather and traffic. In a few minutes, we'll be meeting someone who's been through a lot as a result of the uncertainty about her citizenship. And when you hear the story, you won't be uncertain at all as to what is the situation, but the interpretation of our Constitution has led to many challenges for a lot of people. We're going to hear her story this morning. That's coming up. And then later in Morning Blend Business, we're going to talk about building codes and standards and what could possibly cause a high-rise complex to just collapse, pancake on itself, as it did in Florida last week. And we'll talk about whether we are monitoring buildings here and the standards here and whether anything horrific like that could happen here. We're going to talk about that with a noted contractor this morning. So a lot to get to, but let's begin with what's in the news. And joining me now, we've got Don Sargent. Don, good morning. Got you up there, Don? Yep, we're going to get that. Okay, we're going to get that sorted out. Before we get into the news, just want to say there's a great story in today's Nassau Guardian about Roy Seligman, the Bahamas National Spelling Bee champ, who is to the finals at the Scripps National Spelling Bee in Washington, D.C., and that's going to be July 8th. He is in the finals among the Elite 11. I don't know if we've ever had a Bahamian get that far, but you're going to be able to watch that on ESPN on July 8th. So that's great stuff. Great stuff. We'll be rooting for him and watching that this week. All right, we got straight? Yes? Okay. So the big story in the paper, boiling point, BPL's union threatening industrial action. The power company, though, denying the union's claims. Our Jasper Ward writing about this, the Bahamas Electrical Workers Union giving BPL 14 days to resolve several matters of concern, including what it alleges are poor working conditions on the Family Islands and unfair promotions and hiring practices. All claims BPL is denying. The union warning, though, that industrial action could follow if its matters aren't satisfactorily addressed. The Bahamas Electrical Workers Union President Kyle Wilson yesterday saying, quote, Honorable Desmond Bannister, Deputy Prime Minister of the Bahamas and Minister in charge of BPL and Works, please step in now because we give them 14 days to fix our problems or they will face the wrath of the Bahamas Electrical Workers Union. Asked what would happen after 14 days, Wilson says, quote, you wait and see, look around you. Now, he was joined by many other union leaders as well. And so, what exactly does that mean? Well, I guess, as he said, you wait and see. Now, Wilson says industrial action has not been ruled out. The demands were made as dozens of BPL workers demonstrated outside the power company's headquarters on Blue Hill Road yesterday. In a statement, BPL is describing the demonstration as illegal. The workers also calling for BPL CEO Whitney Hasty to be removed. As they marched around the building, they chanted, quote, Whitney got to go. And Wilson says he's calling the Prime Minister and the Deputy Prime Minister to, quote, do the will of the people and remove Hasty from BPL today, right now, yesterday. He said Hasty's removal is one of the ways to resolve the issues the union has with the company. Now, BPL is saying that Wilson has met with BPL CEO, Executive Director, and Director of Human Resources many times, including a meeting that was held in the trading room with the union executives, BPL board, and BPL executives. And regarding the union's claim that traumatized Abaco employees who survived Hurricane Dorian in 2019 are being sent back to Abaco with no place to live, the company says that, quote, in September 2020, the employees of Abaco that remained in New Providence were advised of the need for them to return to their duties in Abaco on November 1st, 2020. Following a request from the employees and their union representatives to have employees remain until April 30th, 2021, employees were advised to return to Abaco on June 1st, 2021. During the demonstration, Wilson also said that union members were sick and tired of being blamed for the many power outages, placing the blame on the Wärtsilä plant. But BPL said the assertion that BPL's Station A plant, which is operated by and managed by Wärtsilä, is, quote, becoming unreliable. The assertion is? Oh, okay. And, quote, constantly running out of fuel. Oh, that's what the claims are. Yes, okay. Flies in the face of the truth and the record. It says that both SAIDI, I don't know what that is, and SAIFI, industry standard metrics dealing with reliability of electricity supply, have significantly improved, and Station A has and continues to be a reason for this improvement in reliability. BP also says, quote, in addition, we reported a short time ago that a senior Wärtsilä official conducted an operational audit at Station A to ensure the best operation and utmost reliability of the plant. As a consequence, the company has implemented new systems designed to ensure the efficient operation of the plant. All right, folks, I don't know about you, but both of these sides need to shut up. Please stop. We've had enough nonsense. Speaking for me, I don't know how you all feel. You can call and let me know. We've had enough nonsense from BPL to last us a lifetime. And we don't need this garbage, whatever this is, the blaming back and forth. We don't need this. Both sides are responsible for this. Get it together and stop the foolishness. Right? People's Power has been going off every day for the last month or more. We don't care. It's all of y'all. Get it together. Stop it. We got Don yet? Yeah, Don, your power's been going off?
Morning, Dwight. Yeah, absolutely. Whose power hasn't been going off, right?
Actually, mine hasn't. But in any event, this is foolishness. It's foolishness, and it has to stop. We don't need to hear this right now. People are in distress. This is ridiculous. Get it together. Get it together. If you try it, the people, you are very lucky you're in the Bahamas, BPL, and the unions. Because if what happened 2 years ago had happened anywhere else, but try it. Try it this summer. Prices are already going up on everything. We see that, right? So we don't need it. I'm telling you now. Try it. But anyway, let's hear what you have to say. What's working? What's working on these lines? 323-6232, 325-4316. Text us, tweet us, Facebook us, 422-4796, right? I'm not in a good mood today. I'm sorry. We have some major issues going on here as well. And so this petty nonsense is not going to cut it. Not at all. This is ridiculous. We know what you're doing, unions, right? It's election time, and this is the time to act up. We see it every 5 years, but not BPL. You don't have it. You don't have it. And maybe some other people, but you all can't. You all can't. Don't do it. Get it together. Work this nonsense out. 323-6232, 325-4316. Did anyone really apologize for what happened to us 2 years ago? Did anyone really say, did that really happen? Did you feel satisfied about it with all the unanswered questions there? So many things that have been going on in the last 5 years there. This is not the time. All right. Don, what do you say about this?
About the power outage situation or the fighting in between the
all of it. Obviously, there are tons of deep-seated issues there, and this is ridiculous.
On one hand, like, if there was ever a situation or argument where a government would be like, hey, look, this thing doesn't work, now we can privatize, right? Like this is the exact scenario, Dwight. Where I don't know. I'm not saying that that's the solution to the problem. I'm just saying maybe it's best for Bahamians to never be on the grid and have your own, if you can afford it, solar supply, so you don't have to deal with any of this nonsense. I don't know what's really going on at BPL. It seems to have been the case before I was even born. The back and forth, and it's gotten worse, not better. But and wasn't there like that whole thing that what's it called, the Dark Horse Group or something that once upon a time, some secret society that operated within BPL that orchestrated power outages and stuff. I don't know if you remember that, Dwight.
Not really. No. That did not.
Wow.
You mean, what are you talking about? The secret list of people who were never... Are you talking about that or what?
No. It was in like... That, okay, you know what? I'll just leave that alone for now.
Okay.
Okay. That was in the public sphere as well, but two people got arrested, I believe. But anyway, no, I think now is a great time to have, like solar panels and maybe like a little wind thing on top of your house. You'd be 100% off the grid, so you don't have to deal with this nonsense. I got nothing else to say, man. There's nothing positive I have to offer in terms of commentary. I'm really tired of it too. I think every single day, power's been going off. Sometimes in the middle of me trying to get home, like the lights would just cut off and then car accidents would happen. It's like, things aren't really improving, are they? It's really static and the same as it's been years ago.
Let's get to your text messages here. Someone says, Dwight, I have a major problem with unions in our government, government corporations, unions in our government corporations playing politics by threatening to strike and do things because elections are near. Are the union leaders adults or children? Because if they are adults, then work it out. Don't cause me to suffer during the summer. Hey, if that's when it genuinely happened, right? Like it's a new development and the election is near, oh, well, that's okay. But we know that's not what's happening here. We can see that. It's very clear. These are the same stories from a long time ago, but this is the time to act now, to agitate now, all right? I'm not saying that the management is perfect, and I don't know. Clearly, they have many issues, clearly. But both sides, these don't sound like insurmountable problems. Come together and work it out. We don't need any threats over us at this time. This is ridiculous. We've suffered enough. This has been a rough 2-year period between the blackouts and then Dorian and COVID and all of this nonsense. Stop. All right, this one says here, while I don't want my lights off, I support Bahamian workers standing up for their rights. People don't know the poor treatment that so many Bahamians have to endure at the hands of employers with no recourse when they do us wrong. And too many government-appointed boards at these agencies are not doing their jobs either. That is true, yes. So the government ignores for 4 years. So what do you expect unions to do? Stop showing your privilege, sir. That's not what it is at all. That's not what it is. These don't sound like issues that cannot be dealt with. All right? We don't need to come to the public and threaten us or them. 14 days. I don't know. What is that? This one here. I fully agree with you. This is the height of petty and immaturity from the union and management BPL. Government finally solved our light problems. Okay. And now the union and management seem to be acting like children. As a taxpayer, I say get your act together and don't mess with my light. Let's hear what you have to say on the phone lines. Again, 323-6232, 325-4316. I believe we're having a challenge with the other line. The only line that was working is now giving us another issue today. But let's see what you have to say on the phone lines. Yep. All right. Good morning. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
How you doing?
Doing well.
Awesome. Dwight, 3 matters here very quickly I'd like to hit on. Firstly, people need to stop demonizing the union. The union has a reason why it's there. Some of these places exploit their employees, and they deserve protection. Whereas, in some cases, you do hear about employees where they say unions are not good for them because the employees exploit the operation. So it's a 50-50 across the board that we have to acknowledge. Stop demonizing the union. The union is there for a purpose. Second thing, Dwight, I have a pet peeve. I've received many complaints this past Friday where BPL, and this message is for you. You need to stop disconnecting people's power supply on Fridays. That it is not right. You have the whole week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Why would you want to disconnect somebody's supply on a Friday to have them suffer throughout the entire weekend? It is not right. So your policies need to be revisited. And my last point, Dwight. A lot of persons I've heard recently, especially these new homeowners, they want to be able to get completely off BPL grid. But for some reason, there's some clause in there where BPL has to be tied into your property or your premises in order to get their occupancy certificate. That also needs to be changed. We have problems with this electrical company, and people are willing to invest their monies into going isolating themselves away from here. So why aren't the people given the opportunity to do so if they can afford it? They are my 3 comments this morning. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Okay, thank you very much.
His point on the occupancy certificate is also that's very valid. I've heard a lot of people complain about that. I know a handful of people who've actually, I don't know how, Dwight, but they've had BPL remove the meters off of their property, and they're 100% off the grid. Now, as to the legality of that, because the system sucks, and something needs to be done about the situation, and nothing ever will be done about the situation. So I don't blame anybody that wants to go off the grid that can afford it. I think you should get off the grid if you can afford it, because the grid sucks, and it will fail you over and over again. Now, the actual issues with employees that we talked about earlier, I understand, but at the same time, it's like, anyway, you know what? I have nothing to say. I don't know, man. I'm not demonizing the unions or anything. It's just when you go to this over and over again of power outages, whether or not the union has issues, the power still goes off. And if these issues lead to more power outages, I don't know. I don't know how much sympathy you're going to burn through with the public, with the suffering with doing that, especially we're in the midst of a summer. I don't know, Dwight.
Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Morning, Dwight. How are you, man?
Doing well.
And to the wider Bahamas. Dwight, man, I would be a monkey's uncle if I came on this radio and complained, because the unions are Bahamians. They are Bahamians in this country, in this nation, who are working every day trying to make things better for Bahamians. But my thing is, Dwight, do we blame the union? Do we blame the leadership of the country, the government, who should be bringing in the proper equipment that properly works? Because you're using the taxpayers' money to buy these things. Why buy something that is faulty or something that doesn't work or something that cannot uphold or maintain itself? Because, and the thing is, you know that they have the ability to do these things and to get it done right. Because if you look at the private sector, if you look at, the consultants and stuff that come in this country, you hear no complaints from the consultants. You hear no complaint from foreign investors who come in that takes out millions and millions of dollars out of this country. You hear no complaints from that sector. So it means that they have the ability to set things where it can work. But it's like Bahamians are the stepping stone. It seems like Bahamians are local, indigenous Bahamians or whatever, as long as you become a Bahamian on a certain scale, you are a stepping stone for everybody else. So I'm not going to complain about the union. I support the union because they are Bahamians and stuff like that. But, man, come on, the government needs to get it right for Bahamians, man. It has been too long. This stuff has been going on for too long. And that is why we hire them, and that is why we put them in place. But they refuse to do things to empower us. So I'm not going to blame the union. I'm going to blame the government this morning, man. We got to get it right. We got to get it right.
All right. Thank you very much. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Yep. Is BPL a sponsor of your program, advertiser? Do they advertise on your program?
Why do you ask this? What are you going to do?
No, happening? Because I'm looking at some things. It's a utility, and we can hit them hard. But some of the other utilities getting a free pass.
Yeah? I mean, like which ones?
I called in sometime back about a grievance with Cable Bahamas, but I wasn't allowed to speak on it.
All right, but that sounds like that's a you issue. That's a
No. It's a global, not a personal. It's something that affects all consumers. It's a similar situation that affects all consumers. But I'm also saying, are all utilities, let's say communication utilities, unionized? You see, BPL is like a statutory body, a quasi-government situation, and sometimes we even like our employers, we don't feel compelled to criticize publicly or private employers because we may be fearing of losing our job. But anonymously, we sometimes knock the government. I'm not saying they're perfect. As a matter of fact, I like some of the things that they do because I'm one of those persons who pay my bill. And because I pay my bill, I think I'm relatively comfortable of the service. I mean, they have a 5-minute block out there or so on. But we need to look at the good and the bad at the same time. We can't overkill when we don't do the same thing to others. That's my point. And the same thing with a politician that like the show yesterday. Whether the boss is the prime minister or anyone else in government, we don't do the same thing to our persons where we're getting our bread and butter from. But sometimes we see this one is like an easy one to throw a stone at.
okay. I'm not sure what you're suggesting, but hey, if you're messing up, we call you out, no matter who it is. And all of them are sponsors, yes, and we appreciate them, but we got to call out foolishness. And People's Power has been going off quite frequently. We've had them on a few weeks ago, and they talked about it. They explained why some of the reasons were reasonable. Some of you didn't like the reasons, but they gave reasons. But it happens a lot. For now, these issues that seem resolvable to come to the point where folks are threatening, you wait and see. And we know what that means in this country, and we know what that means when an election is looming. We don't need to go there, especially after what we've been through the last couple of years, and how incredibly hot this summer is, and still in the midst of the pandemic.
I think,
right?
One of the callers said something about leadership, and the thing that makes it makes us feel like Groundhog Day or deja vu again is no matter, quite literally, no matter which government, which party, which prime minister, it's some of the same issues with treatment of staff persist across all government institutions. The same issues with the unions take up with their members in terms of their treatment continues. So I don't even know if the leadership thing matters anymore in this country. It's same old, same old. Again, I am sympathetic to the case, especially with the employees from Abaco. But like I said, at the same time, it doesn't seem to matter as a consumer on the grid, like what the circumstances, whether they treat people right or not, my power still goes off. It seems like no matter what, my electricity will always go off. That is a reality for many neighborhoods. And if you live in certain neighborhoods in the Bahamas, in Nassau especially, your power goes off every other day, more than anybody else in certain neighborhoods. I think certain people live on certain parts of Cowpen Road, further east by the Bacardi Bay, your power's going off quite frequently. I have a friend who lives there, and it's like literally the same time almost every day his power goes off. It's varying times, but every single day you can count on it. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. Like I said, I don't like the sound of the threatening situation of, because we've been there before, Dwight. This isn't our first rodeo as Bahamians with this situation. I don't know. I don't even know who's responsible for what anymore. All I know is my power's going off.
Yeah,
that's a reality.
Let's take this call, and then we'll get your text messages. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning to all.
Hi, good morning.
All right. I owe no sympathy for BPL workers, right, or any multinational corporation, any quasi corporation, or any government employee, right? because they have no concern for the poor people out there who are not unionized, who are living with wages that are not livable. You see, the unemployed in this country. You're seeing, and these people should not be feeling no burden from these people who are living well over the minimum wage in this country. You see, and it's time our unions stop playing politics. Everything is about politics. It seems like it is about politics. Even the media to me seems to be all about politics. Most of the people in the media, I was saying that they got on some government contract, some board or something, and time would be for us to stop. They all seem to be like, and then they all seem to be not conservative. They are conservative, a corporate media. The media seems to be capitalist. It's sad in this.
Well, what should we be? What should the media be? Should we be the commercial media, the media that thrives on?
In this country, should have some media on the left, some media on the right.
Well, start it then. Start it. I mean, the whole country seems to be obsessed with politics. That's all you all want is the MP to do everything for you. So it's the whole country. Why are we like this? That's a problem. But start the media that you don't get. If you don't feel that your voice is heard, your socialist voice or whatever it is that you'd want, go do it. Do it. Yeah, okay.
But the thing is when you talk about the ideologies, right, and different sides of it and represented in the media, I don't see a lot of support from Bahamians for content that is leaning to the left, although some may disagree.
Now, what does that mean here? What does the left mean here? What does the right mean here?
Well, when you talk about issues like immigration, anything that's not status quo conservative isn't supported widely in the Bahamas at all. The issue of marital rape, the issue of divorce laws in this country, issues of social issues in general in the Bahamas. There is more support of persons leaving things the way they are rather than pushing it in either direction of being progressive.
In the media?
No, I'm not saying. I'm saying support from the public.
Oh, okay.
So, because when some of these stories get written, do you see people saying, "Oh, this media house is biased"? These things. So I was like, I think we'd want more objective than someone catering to an ideological class, no?
Well, what we need to do is establish our own and stop looking at the U.S., right? So,
I'd be like the U.S., although it seems that's true.
Or maybe you do, but just decide on your own, right? What is conservative here? Is that the same as conservatism in the U.S.? I don't know if it is, but that's a whole other show. Maybe we should do a show on that. But again, if you're not hearing what you want to hear, then go right ahead. Start it. Start your own digital newspaper. I don't think you'd want to do print. But go start your own super left or super right or ultra conservative or extremely liberal radio. Go do it. Let's hear the voices. Maybe these media houses are set in their ways. And then, okay, you hate capitalism. Well, good luck to you in radio. Okay. Anyway, let's see. The disconnection policy I thought was connected to your deposit. The deposit is supposed to be equal to 2 months of anticipated usage. BPL does not even show your deposit on the bills anymore. Why? Okay. This person says, please read my text. If you get poor treatment from employers, start your own company. I dare you, hero. 70% of Bahamian employees are worthless. Oh, wow. Hence, I only hire them part-time. Avoid all the drama and headaches. 70? Oh, dear. Wow. Okay. BPL union needs to stop disadvantaging the customers every summer. They wait till almost election time to do this foolishness. We are paying customers. Why shall we suffer because of their grievances? Those people have rights also. Yep. They, just how you have bills to pay, we need to come and work at BPL. This government don't care. I think there's supposed to be some commas and full stops in there somewhere. But anyway, Dwight, you remember when Leslie Miller said you will sweat? I think he was right, Dwight. This is the summer. Lord help us. Well, some people sweating right now because the power goes off every day, as Don said. Another one, happy Tuesday, Dwight and Don. Dwight, the problem with all the unions and the government relative to these frictions is the failure to be honest and true to their contractual agreements. Check it out and tell me otherwise. I'm tired of these unions waiting until elections in the year to start doing fool. Like Malcolm X said, after 4 years, they think to help themselves now. They say they care for the staff. This person says, Don is right. This happens under every government. The reason is all governments use the same professionals to help them with decisions. I don't think people realize that being certified means that you hold the same assumptions of the group. If the problem persists, that means the profession is holding a bad assumption. Okay. Another one here. It's so hard to please everybody. We as Bahamians complain about both parties in this BPL situation. Have we now moved to people or just complaints? It's not easy in governing any country, and there will always be complaints. We demand more, and I really believe both parties have the interests of Bahamians at heart. Okay. We as Bahamians need to be patient as a people. It's a biblical virtue. Now, you need to stop talking foolishness. That's what. Patient? Were you here? Were you here in 2019? Were you?
Obviously, it's been like,
not.
30-something years of power outages.
But, 2019 was the... Patient? Please. We are the most patient people on the planet.
Yeah, we were patient about someone being charged in the courts for taking bribes to buy the wrong generators at BPL.
We've been waiting for answers to every and single investigation. Have we received one answer yet? We are very patient. Very patient. So don't try it. Don't try it. Let's take this break, and then we'll be back. When we come back, you will hear about Patience, our guest who has been through a whole heck of a lot, trying to become a citizen of the only country she knows. You think this is fair? Take a listen to this after the break. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
This is AP News. I'm Rita Foley. The search and rescue effort in Surfside, Florida, where that condo building collapsed, killing at least 11 people. 150 are still missing. AP correspondent Julie Walker.
It's taking a toll on everyone, including ER Dr. Howard Lieberman, who's been there since day one.
A good friend of mine, he lost 3 people. Another friend of mine just texted me, her friend is missing. Please, could you find her? And then you have the loved ones that show up, and they're screaming the name of the person who's missing.
Martin Langsfeld is missing his sister and brother-in-law.
I really believe miracles do happen.
An expert on disaster survival is talking about that, and our Julie Walker's got that too.
Professor Joseph Barbara says deciding to transition from rescue to recovery is agonizing.
The uncertainty that you could be leaving someone alive behind by ending too early, versus the concerns about continuing to push in a high-risk rescue mode.
I'm Julie Walker.
The National Weather Service is warning the brutal heat imparted for the next few days. Seattle hit 108 degrees yesterday. Meteorologists are blaming what they call a dome of high pressure over the Northwest, made worse, they say, by human-caused climate change. 2 people were killed and 3 injured in a natural gas pipeline explosion in Texas. It happened at an Atmos Energy facility in Collin County near Farmersville. That's about 35 miles northeast of Dallas. Authorities say this appears to be an accident. The last remaining U.S. soldiers will leave Bagram Air Base in Afghanistan in the next few days. Bagram was a symbol of the U.S. effort to avenge the 9/11 attacks. This is AP News. Germany's seeing some extreme weather. Our Charles de Ledesma is overseas with this.
Thunderstorms hit Germany late on Monday, and torrential rains poured down on the southern and western parts of the country, leading to dozens of accidents and hundreds of firefighter operations throughout the night. In Stuttgart, parts of the roof and of the city's historic opera house were thrown to the ground by the winds. Altogether, rescue teams were called in more than 330 times in Stuttgart, with regional train services also interrupted for hours. Across much of the affected region, felled trees have had to be cut and removed by firefighters. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
Police in Greece have recovered 2 paintings by Picasso and Mondrian nearly 10 years after they were stolen from a big art gallery in Athens. No details. I'm Rita Foley, AP News.
We've got your first look at traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank. We're seeing some heavy traffic on Sir Miles Butler Highway, the northbound lanes, as usual, from Fire Trail all the way up to Tawny Williams Darling Highway. In fact, that's from south of Fire Trail up to Tawny Williams Darling Highway this morning. Gladstone Road also busy for you, northbound lane this morning. Traffic on Carmichael Road eastbound toward Blue Hill Road, and the traffic is getting heavier just north of Soldier Road in the northbound lanes of Blue Hill Road, heading towards the roundabout with Independence Drive. Independence Drive also busy westbound as you get closer to that roundabout. Eastbound as well on Independence Drive as you get closer to East Street, which is seeing some issues just north of Soldier Road. And in between the roundabout and Robinson Road this morning. Elsewhere, we've got building traffic at the major intersections along Prince Charles and Robinson Road and along Wolf Road in some parts, and building traffic westbound on Carmichael heading towards Coral Harbor Road. You can see that there this morning. That's what we're looking at this morning. It's your real-time traffic and your morning blend traffic alert brought to you by RBC Royal Bank, banking reimagined. In your weather, we've got a lot going on weather-wise. Weather brought to you by Rev Cable Bahamas. We've got rich tropical moisture coupled with lingering troughing across the area. That's going to trigger bouts of unsettled weather over the islands. Meanwhile, building high pressure will maintain moderate to fresh breezes across the country through tonight. Boaters should be alert for possible water spouts, along with gusty winds, high seas, and reduced visibility to 3 nautical miles or less, and heavy showers and thunderstorms. Beachgoers in the central and southeast Bahamas should exercise caution due to the risk of rip currents along eastern and southern shorelines. For all areas today, we are looking at variably cloudy, warm, and breezy conditions with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms through tonight, central and southeast Bahamas. High temperatures getting up to around 90 Fahrenheit, 32 Celsius. Overnight lows getting down to 74 Fahrenheit, 23 Celsius. In your extended outlook, a wet pattern will remain in place across the country as the surface ridge continues to build westward through Thursday. So for tomorrow, Wednesday, variably cloudy, warm, and a bit humid with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. Thursday, variably cloudy, warm, and a bit breezy with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. In the tropics, we've got a tropical wave located over the central Atlantic. It has a medium or 40% chance of tropical cyclone formation as the system moves west towards the Caribbean. And then we've got the remnants of what was near the Carolinas yesterday, which became Tropical Storm Danny yesterday. The remnants now passing over the Carolinas and expected to cross northern Georgia and Alabama today, but that's the latest advisory on it. Very short-lived and quick. That brought quite a bit of rain to that part of the southern United States. That's your morning blend weather check brought to you by Rev Cable Bahamas, you and us together.
Postpaid with the Live just got better. Say hello to more with our new Liberty Prime plan. 800 text and talk minutes and 15 gigabytes of data to do the things you love right here at home and even when you travel. With the all-new Liberty Prime, Liberty More, Liberty Premium, and Liberty Elite, you're good at home and good to roam. Roam again. Alive. Believe in best. Believe in best.
Travel less, but vacation more by indulging yourself and your family with the ultimate staycation getaway at Atlantis. Sleep in, relax, play, go out. Say yes to a fantastic staycation in your very own paradise just over the bridge. For reservations, 483 or visit Atlantis Local on Facebook for details.
Meet Jackie. Jackie's a hard worker with a steady income, but she has a personal loan and multiple credit cards to pay off. To keep her account current, Jackie opted for a loan from Fidelity Bank to consolidate her debt into one monthly payment and earn interest on a built-in savings account. Be like Jackie. Call 356-7764 to book a complimentary financial coaching session. Fidelity also offers virtual assistance. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and carved body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-197.
Which upheld a lower court's decision that all children born in this country to a Bahamian father and foreign mother is entitled to automatic citizenship regardless of their father's marital status. In an affidavit filed on June 25th, the Office of the Attorney General lists 8 grounds for appeal. Among them, that the majority of the Court of Appeal erred in not recognizing the intention of the framers of the Bahamas Constitution in not giving the right to citizenship at birth to every person born in the Bahamas after July 9, 1973, having regard to the Bahamas Nationality Act, which came into force on the 10th of July that year. It also argued the court erred in law in holding that Parliament only intended Article 14.1 to apply to articles in which direct reference is made to fathers, government arguing that provision must apply where any reference is made to a father in provisions of Chapter 11 of the Constitution, whether direct or indirect. The Court of Appeal ruling, as written by Justice Stella Crane Scott, found that they were satisfied the proper interpretation which the framers of the Constitution intended to give to Article 6, when this country after July 9, 1973, shall become a citizen at birth if either of their biological parents is a citizen, irrespective of marital status of the parent at the time of birth. In other news, both the Atlantis and Bahama resorts are now enjoying their highest occupancy levels since the start of the pandemic. Both are also projecting the good times to continue through the July 4th holiday. Kyle Joaquin reports.
It's coming back faster than we anticipated.
After little to no tourism activity last July, summer 2021 is looking much better than expected, according to Tourism Minister Dionisio de Aguilar. Bahama officials confirming occupancy in the high 70s this week and 80s next week. Meanwhile, Atlantis, which reopened the Cove, Reef, Royal, and Coral Towers, is over 90% occupied.
We never really are 100% go for 100% booked, but we'll be in the mid-90s, which is exciting. The first time since our closure back in March of 2020 that we've seen occupancy levels this high.
Atlantis President Audrey Oswald says over 3,000 employees with the resort to bring more back on soon. She says Atlantis is bustling with activity, especially this weekend, with major plans for the 4th of July.
It seems like as more and more people are getting vaccinated in the States and more people are getting vaccinated here in the Bahamas, that all of a sudden it had a snowball effect. And we saw starting from Memorial Day on, we saw a higher occupancy, much quicker bookings. But as word gets out that more people here in the Bahamas are vaccinated and fully vaccinated, we're just seeing it grow exponentially.
And it's not just the major resorts getting business. According to de Aguilar, cruise ship activity is unexpectedly high as well, with 13,000 cruise passengers expected over a 10-day period beginning July 2nd. He said the bounce back is happening much sooner than expected.
They've been locked up in their homes. They haven't been able to go very far. And now that they're vaccinated, the world is open to them. They don't want to go terribly far, but they want to go away. So the Bahamas, of course, is geographically wonderfully situated, and so enormous numbers.
And while the fall months of September and October are usually slow, bookings are up for them as well. De Aguilar says the rush is even being felt on the Family Islands.
27% of our foreign visitors that went to the Family Islands would have gone to North Eleuthera. 20% would have gone to Bimini. So there's a lot of people taking the boat across to Bimini. And then 19% would have gone to Abaco. So I was very encouraged to hear how quickly they're bouncing back.
Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I'm Kyle Joaquin.
11 new cases of COVID-19 identified on Bimini and Cat Key have been linked to a local resort there. That from the Ministry of Health, which says the cases indicate an incident of clustering at that resort. They were among 43 new cases recorded Sunday, which pushed total COVID infections in this country to 12,586. 710 of those are still active. There has also been another COVID-related death, that of a 79-year-old man from New Providence who died Saturday. Total COVID deaths now number 246. Well, we've also learned that third tranche of COVID vaccine will not be here until the end of July. An official with the Pan American Health Organization blamed the delay on the manufacturer's challenge with meeting global demand for the vaccine, which has exceeded the global supply. This country has received 87,200 doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine to date from both India and the COVAX facility, but health officials claim more than 91,000 doses have been administered in this country. While government officials insist that there will be enough vaccines to go around, Sunday, government revised its schedule for vaccinations on New Providence through July 2nd, reducing distribution sites to only 2 and reducing their hours of operation, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Loyola Hall and 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Church of God East Street. In other news, the Bahamas Electrical Workers Union has given Bahamas Power and Light 14 days to address long-standing concerns regarding hiring, paying, and promotions for its workers. Jillian Gray has that.
Please step in now, because we give them 14 good days to fix our problems and face the wrath of the Bahamas Workers Union.
Bahamas Electrical Workers Union President Kyle Wilson says morale at the state-owned power company is in the garbage. Here's why.
Unilateral changes to employee medical benefits. Unilateral changes to job descriptions and variations of working conditions. Failure to promote persons acting or just giving them responsibility allowance for years on end and not promoting the workers.
Workers marched around the property singing hymns and calling for the CEO's removal.
Hasty got to go! Hasty got to go!
Wilson said his members on the Family Islands are also fed up due to inhumane working conditions. If the problem isn't fixed, he said he'll instruct them to stop working.
The people are working on engines by themselves in the middle of nowhere. No toilet. Sleeping in their car. Have to relieve themselves in bushes. Defecate in the bushes. No toilet paper, no nothing being available to them. No hand washing facilities. And we say as of today, if they don't put the proper facilities, we are asking those workers not to go.
EL's entire human resources department needs an overhaul. He alleged that an employee was victimized after he made a sexual assault claim.
There's a staff member who have claimed to be sexually harassed by another male staff member. He has claimed, it has been a claim, that he went to management and complained. And he said, as a result, he was victimized.
BPL executives say the claims of gross favoritism, payment deductions without workers' approval, and unilateral changes to job descriptions are not true. They also responded to the objections of some Abaco workers who aren't ready to return to that island after Dorian tore through their homes. The company said it was always understood that those employees who they assisted in being evacuated would have to return at some point. BPL execs also objected to the union's claim that Station A, managed by Wärtsilä, has become unreliable, and said an assessment was recently performed and new systems were implemented to ensure production. However, the union says that plant won't be ready for the summer.
Unreliable, and as a result, it leaves a big hole in their claim of no load shedding this summer. Also, to lay a greater hole in that claim, GD4, GD5, and TA11 at Blue Hills that consist of 60 plus megawatts, which is almost some 20% of generation, are down and will not be ready for this summer.
Wilson is calling on the nation's leaders to step in soon.
Calling the Prime Minister and the Deputy Prime Minister to do the will of the people and remove Mr. Hasty from BPL today.
Now, the union president said everything from court action to industrial action is on the table if they don't get their answer. However, he says one thing that they won't do is affect the Bahamians' people electricity. Reporting for our news, I'm Jillian Gray.
Stay with us. There's more news after the break.
Buying a home is one of the most important investment decisions you'll ever make, so it's best to insure your home for the full replacement value. If your home is underinsured, the condition of average could apply and reduce the amount. Ask your insurance agent about underinsurance and condition of average before you purchase or renew your home insurance policy. For more information, visit www.icb.gov.bs. This message was brought to you by the Insurance Commission of the Bahamas.
Crystal Cruises is setting sail for the Bahamas once again. Crystal will follow the strictest safety protocols as guests travel to Exuma, San Salvador, Long Island, and more. With a commitment to keep communities and guests safe and protect the environment, Crystal's decision to homeport in the Bahamas will boost tourism and support the local economy. Learn more at crystalcruises.com.
Apex Award Signs and Engraving is excited about this summer's graduation. Celebrate your graduates with high-quality custom graduation signs available at great low prices. Need custom printing on apparel, promotional merchandise printing, or photo imaging services? No problem. You can get personalized diploma covers, plaques, plates, albums, clocks, pens, pencils, and so much more. Say congratulations to the class of 2021 with signs, hanging banners, and expressing appreciation on social graduates with your own custom yard sign, banner, or poster from Apex Award Signs and Engraving, number 128 Mount Royal Avenue, or on Wilton Street, a block north of McCarthy's Pharmacy. Open weekdays 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturdays 9 to 1.
Everything is changing, and your favorite hardware and home improvement store is getting with the program. We Buy You Sell is rolling out its new online shopping feature. If you go to our website, wbusbahamas.com, it's a quick and easy 3-step process. Step 1, browse the gallery and select your item. Step 2, add to cart. And Step 3, check out. Go to our website, wbusbahamas.com, to shop with us today.
Introducing the new Slices and Sticks from Little Caesars, an unexpected combination. 4 slices of pepperoni pizza, 8 Italian cheese sticks, and 1 crazy sauce, only for $9. Didn't expect that one, right? Grab the new Slices and Sticks at Little Caesars Oaksfield, Carmichael Road, or East Street South in the Pineapple Plaza. That's 4 slices of pepperoni pizza, 8 Italian cheese sticks, and 1 crazy sauce, all for only $9, and only at
At Master Technicians, we have what your family traditions need, starting with industry-best refrigerators, ranges, and ovens. We also carry Whirlpool washer and dryers, dishwashers and freezers, leading KitchenAid countertop appliances, blenders, microwaves, juicers, kettles, and KitchenAid stand mixers. We even do free delivery in New Providence or to the boat of your choice. Whether you're doing the laundry, creating new memories in the kitchen, or spending family time in front of the television, Master Technicians Limited, keeping family traditions alive for more than 50 years.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Calling all members. The 36th Annual General Meeting of the Bahamas Law Enforcement Cooperative Credit Union is scheduled 21 at 8 a.m. at the Rose Garden, Police Headquarters, East Street, Nassau, Bahamas. Please note that all COVID-19 health and safety protocols will be strictly enforced, inclusive of the wearing of masks, sanitation, and social distancing at all times. See you there.
Welcome back. 12-year-old Dwight has made history, spelling his way into the final round of this year's Scripps National Spelling Bee. The student of Lyford Key International School is the only international contestant still in the hunt for the title. Roy told the Nassau Guardian advancing to the finals has been his dream since he started spelling competitively, and that he is proud to be showing the world what he can do. He will battle 10 other contestants at the in-person finals at Walt Disney World on July 8th. And that's going to do it for local news. Stay with us. AP News is next.
Serenity Gated Community. Come and see what all the buzz is about surrounding our pre-construction home package. Made it possible for multiple families to realize their dream of home ownership. It's all about value building, folks. Home investment is by far the greatest investment one will ever make. So invest with confidence. Give Desiree Mingo a call at 376-0318 today.
Welcome home. When does a simple meal become exceptional? You guessed it, when it's made the Fresh Market way. We're talking exquisite cuts of fresh meat, succulent fresh seafood options, the best in fresh produce, and who can forget our exotic spices and herbs? Come on, get ready to shake up your taste buds and let our aisles inspire your inner food genius. Homemade salted caramel ice cream, egg noodle stir fry, time to walk and roll. Slow smoked beef ribs, oh baby! Remember, go fresh and craft delicious with Fresh Market.
Your big day coming, what you want?
I know, but you all seem too far behind, eh? Anyhow, I want Junior to give me washing machine.
Washing machine? What you want washing machine for?
Well, since Junior working on the island car, I figure we could wash right here.
You got line, eh?
Not yet.
And if you wash here, what we can talk about?
That's true.
If you wash here, how we can catch capsaicin?
That's true, eh?
And if you ain't got no line, how we post to drying if you wash here?
That's true.
Okay, so what you want Junior get you again?
$1,600 worth of tokens. That's how much the washing machine costs.
Now you're talking, and I'll reserve the car for every Saturday.
Gone for that. So what you want for your big day?
Half of them token.
My lord.
So we wash. We washes you, cleans you, presses you 24/7.
Jada, jump in the car. Hey girl, your new ride looking good. Y'all, it was rough. No one wanted to insure me as a new driver, and cause I young. Thank goodness Jason told me about Shield Insurance right there across from the police college on Thompson Boulevard. Shield hooked me up with one solid policy at a decent price, minus the shade. Them other companies was joking, but I glad you get straight. Call Shield Insurance in Nassau.
Shield Insurance agents and brokers.
Anyway, Lumpkin, does you know what a happy camper is? You ain't got to answer that. That's why you call it a historical question. Anyhow, a happy camper is anybody who come to bend the tire. I say, why are you talking in a third person? You look around, you say third person, you see somebody else. Hey. Anyhow, Lumpkin, when my customers see what I got on sale, they could be dancing in the showroom, but I got to stop them because I ain't got no club license. Anyway, most everything will be on sale, as usual. So, if you could please say that Pender would be very happy to see them, and they would be very happy to see Pender if they stop by. Pender Tile Sale now through July 9th.
Times and Sunny's out of day, and Ms. Wallace say, when you've been in this business for as long as I've been in this business, for you to stay in this business, you gotta understand the difference between. I say the difference between what? She say there's a difference between Sam Sline and Ann Klein. There's a difference between Michael Moores and Michael Kors, Poochie and Gucci, Scooby Valon and Louis Vuitton. You get my drift? I say yeah. Sound like for every real McCoy is a real imposter too. She say that's right. And that's the difference between me and you. Now while you heading to the door, you figure out who is who.
Sunil's Watching Clock, number 112 Montrose Avenue. Watching Clock repairs for over 40 years.
When I had got prostate cancer, my family didn't know if I was going to live. Within days, I got an appointment. They presented me with treatment options, and we set up a robotic prostatectomy. When my scans came back, there are no signs of cancer. They don't see you as a number, they see you as a part of the family. I'm going on with my life. That's a real gift.
Call us at Cancer Treatment Centers of America.
Cable Bahamas Business Solutions has the right tools to help you grow your small or medium business. Get business in a box. With either our expert or executive package, you'll get high-speed internet, landline, and mobile phone service from as low as $189 per month. Plus, your business gets noticed on Rev TV. Sign up today for Business in a Box from Cable Bahamas Business Solutions. Call now 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands. This traffic report.
We've got another check of your weather for today here on Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. We've got rich tropical moisture coupled with lingering troughing across the area that will trigger bouts of unsettled weather over the Bahamas. Meanwhile, building high pressure will maintain moderate to fresh breezes across the islands through tonight. Boaters should be alert for water spout activity, along with gusty winds, higher seas, and reduced visibility to 3 nautical miles or less in heavy showers and thunderstorms. Beachgoers in the central and southeast Bahamas should exercise caution due to the risk of rip currents along eastern and southern shorelines. For today, for all areas, your forecast calls for variably cloudy, warm, and breezy conditions with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms through tonight. Smallcraft caution in effect for the central and southeast Bahamas. High temperatures getting up to around 90 Fahrenheit, 32 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 74 Fahrenheit, 23 Celsius. In your extended outlook, a wet pattern will remain in place across the country as the surface ridge continues to build westwards. For tomorrow, Wednesday, we're expecting variably cloudy, warm, and humid conditions, scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms again. Thursday, pretty much the same, variably cloudy, warm, breezy, scattered showers, and isolated thunderstorms. In the tropics, tropical depression Danny now moving across the southern United States after being downgraded from a tropical storm yesterday. And we've got a tropical wave that we're watching over the central Atlantic. It has a medium or 40% chance of tropical cyclone formation over the next 5 days as that system migrates westwards towards the Caribbean. We'll keep an eye on that one for you. But that Bahamas First Insurance, what's first for you, comes first for us. And your look at traffic for this morning brought to you by RBC Royal Bank. In your real-time traffic, we've got Smile Butler Highway. Again, heavy traffic from well south of Fire Trail all the way up to Tawny Williams Darling Highway. Both lanes, very heavy this morning. Gladstone Road, still busy for you north of Fire Trail, northbound to JFK Drive. Blue Hill Road, also busy north of Soldier Road. Both lanes heading over that hill toward Independence Drive. And Carmichael Road, eastbound to Blue Hill. Going to be busy this morning as well. Elsewhere, we've got Carmichael westbound heading towards Coral Harbor Road, seeing some heavy building traffic out there. And at the major intersections along Prince Charles Drive and Robinson Road this morning. And Marathon Road, East-West Highway, Robinson Road, that intersection there. And Marathon northbound, Bernard Road, Wolf Road, and Village Road, also busy in the northbound lanes and along Wolf Road at the major intersections. Those are your hot spots. That's your real-time traffic and your morning blend traffic alert. Brought to you by RBC Royal Bank, banking reimagined.
Herring and bread. I don't want to live nowhere else, even when I did. Eyes upon him.
And we're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strong with Don Sargent. We're going to leave BPL right there. We'll continue to follow that for you, though. But we do want to move on as we get ready to introduce our guest this morning to let you know what we've been talking about for is getting set to apply or has applied now to the Court of Appeal for leave to appeal to the Privy Council that decision to uphold a landmark 2020 ruling on citizenship, as well as a stay of the ruling. Our Travis Cartwright Carroll writing about this in today's Nassau Guardian. The Nassau Guardian says it understands that the Court of Appeal will hear arguments on the application tomorrow. The application lists 8 grounds for appeal. The government argues that the majority of the Court of Appeal erred in not recognizing the intention of the framers of the Bahamas Constitution in not giving the right to citizenship at birth to every person born in the Bahamas after the 9th of July 1973, having regard to the Bahamas Nationality Act, which came into force on the 10th of July 1973. And it also argued that the majority of the court erred in the law in holding that Parliament only intended Article 14, Section 1 to apply to articles in which direct reference is made to fathers, saying that, quote, it is clear that the provision must apply where any reference is made to a Chapter 2 of the Bahamas Constitution, whether direct or indirect. And that, quote, more specifically, whether the reference in Article 14, Section 1 of the Constitution to father could not be read to apply to the interpretation of the word parent in Article 6. The government's also arguing that the majority of the court erred in applying a broad liberal construction of the Bahamas Constitution in their determination. That Article 14, Section 1 did not apply to Article 6. All right, so that's a lot of mumbo-jumbo there, but we've been talking about it, and as we say, it seems relatively clear that it says either parent, if either parent, in Article 6, if either parent is a Bahamian citizen at the date of your birth, you are a Bahamian. But as we know, it hasn't been the case, hasn't always been the case over the last 48 years. And here to talk about this, we are very pleased to our guest, Anonymous, this morning. For various reasons, she's going to explain that to us as well. But she's prepared to tell her story. She's been through this in a very unusual way. But good morning. Great to have you with us. I think your mic might be muted. Let's unmute that mic.
Morning, how are you?
There you go. Great to have you with us. Welcome. Great to have you. All right. Where do we begin? Well, okay, let's start off with why you want to remain anonymous right now, and then we can go back to the very beginning.
Okay. Well, I would like to remain anonymous because I am just surprised by the feelings that people have toward this situation and for people like me in my situation. And I haven't actually received my citizenship as yet. So
and how old?
I don't want to, feel like I don't want to step on any toes.
Yeah.
Just get what I need just to function in society.
And how old are you now?
I'm 31.
31. And you were born where?
Yes. Well, this situation, I was born in 1990. Yes, me and thousands of persons are being affected by this right now. It started back in 2019 at the age of 29 when my passport expired.
Okay, so before you get to that, let's go way back. And so people
way back. You want to go
I think you need to go back to maybe your mother's story. And then people can really see how convoluted this is.
Okay. My mom, I was born to a minor. She was 16 when she had me. She was born to a Jamaican mother that came here to the Bahamas at the age of 16 herself. And she was born, so that 1 year after the act.
Born right here in the Bahamas.
Right here in Grand Bahama, raised in Nassau, went to Xavier Aquinas. And of course, because she got pregnant with me, she transferred to a government school and then she ended up having me. Yes, she was born to a Jamaican mother that came here, but eventually my grandmother, at the age of maybe 45, received her own Bahamian status. So I was born six years before my mother became naturalized. Now, because of this, I'm not sure as to why or what happened, but my mother, when I was born, she applied for a Bahamian passport. Well, it would have been my grandmother at the time because she was still a minor, I guess. And we received one. And I've been pretty much just full, for many, many years. And like I said, back in 2019, just came about where my passport expired. So I went into the passport office just like anyone else. And I applied for a renewal. And so, I'm waiting, just like, I guess, the whatever amount of time it takes. And I get a call about maybe 3 weeks later. to alert me that there was an issue with trying to renew my passport. And that's when she proceeded to ask me for my mom's number to speak to her. And I said, okay, sure. And I was confused because my mom, when I got home, she had to explain to me that she herself had to get naturalized in 19. This is something I didn't know because as far as I'm concerned, I've seen my mother with a Bahamian passport all my life. I know her as a Bahamian.
And your mother's father is Bahamian?
No, my mom's father is Jamaican, but my father.
But your father, okay.
Is Bahamian.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My father's Bahamian. I don't know if maybe that's why it was, but why I just received one. I can't tell you why, but it was their error, I guess. So yes, that happened. And she broke it down to me and I was like in shock. So I'm like, okay, so what's gonna happen now? Like what because I mean, I have things that I want to continue, studies, so on, and a lot of life. And I think she ended up telling me that I would need to get naturalized. And that's when I ended up speaking to the lady from the office, and she told me that I would have to apply for citizenship. At the age of 29, I'm like, okay, well, all right. Well, I guess I will have to do this way. I mean, it's surprising to me, but I'm gonna have to go and do it if I want to, get what I need to get. So eventually, they, said they have to investigate this, that, and to see how I even got this passport. And I'm like, okay, that's fine, but shouldn't you be able to see that I came in just like anyone else and applied for a passport? Like, it's a passport office. You should be able to see that I have had passports since I was an infant, Mm-hmm. It's a very hard situation. I do know that it's affected me, and thousands applied for citizenship just like everyone else. And to my surprise, after knowing my situation and everything, they responded with residency.
Oh, wow. Any explanation given for that?
None at all. Just it's what it was. It was what was offered. And so I'm like, well, they're like, oh, someone mentioned something about applying for a Jamaican pass, but I'm not even, I couldn't even get a Jamaican passport because I wasn't Jamaican enough. My mother actually never even had a Jamaican passport. Mm-hmm. She actually had a travel document up until she got naturalized. So my mother was born and raised here in Grand Bahama and eventually moved to Nassau. And she herself hasn't had one. Mm-hmm. So I would be applying for a Jamaican passport because of my grandmother. I couldn't even get that because I'm not even so-called Jamaican enough. I've been born and raised here, went to school here all my life. And this is what's happening. And I was offered residency. I don't understand, where am I supposed to go? What am I supposed to do? I don't know anywhere else. And my father is a full Bahamian man. Mm-hmm. And I'm just stuck. Wow. Statusless. And there's just nothing I can do about it.
All right. So what are they telling you now? So you have residency. Are you able to apply for citizenship? Is that still ongoing? How long do you have to wait? What are they saying about that?
I was told I can't reapply for maybe 3 to 4 years. So I would have to be just here without any document, statusless. Just that's it.
Is impacting your life? What is that preventing
Oh,
you from doing?
it's extremely depressing. It's like taking someone's rights away. God, nearly halfway through their life. And I know we also wanted to talk about, like, why people think persons like me don't even deserve citizenship. I don't know why is it as people do we need to be directly affected by something in order to be sympathetic? And the truth is, this situation is affecting thousands of people here in this country. And most likely this means it's also affecting someone you know. Very close. This isn't just like maybe a few of us. It's thousands. Thousands of us. People you know that may be keeping it to themselves. People you've grown up with. People you've been knowing for many years. I even heard a story about a 50-something-year-old man not being able to get a mortgage for nearly halfway through his life. His passport, they went back and saw someone with something and just took it away and just offer no help, not even after applying for citizenship like they asked him to, like they asked me to. Not even granting these people status. So he's handicapped in almost every way in a country just like me that he's spent his entire life in. Yeah. He's stuck, statusless. I mean, this is a form of oppression. I mean, people's rights are being taken away nearly halfway through their lives. How is this okay? In that case, I mean, let's bring back slavery or maybe take away women's rights. These people are stuck, can't work, and unable to function in a country they've lived in their entire lives. Like this to me is a form of hate. And we call ourselves a...
So tell us, without a passport, how are you traveling? How does that work exactly? You don't.
I don't travel. I don't go anywhere. I'm just stuck.
And has it affected you in terms of employment and national insurance? What happens in that regard?
Well, to be honest with you, I have all these documents already because I've been living here as a Bahamian. So I have my national insurance. I have certain IDs, so I'm able to use that. But if they ask me for a passport, I can't give them a valid one because it's expired. So I've been functioning here, thank God, because of the other things that I have. But I'm. If someone asks, I can't give them that. If I want to buy a house, I can't do anything. I don't even have Jamaican status. I have no status. I am just here with no document because my mother was not even born and raised and she never even possessed a Jamaican passport. We're talking about a grandmother who was 16 when she came here, became a Bahamian. My mother became a Bahamian. My dad is a Bahamian. And then I apply and I can't get citizenship.
Now, so you were telling us you did have one before passport. Were you able to vote before? Did that happen before?
Yes, I was able to vote.
Yeah.
Before, yes.
My goodness.
Yes, I was functioning like a normal Bahamian that I thought I was. I didn't think of myself as anything else because I don't know. I didn't know until attempting to apply for renewal at 29.
I have a question about did they give like I presume they presented you with a letter. Did they give some logic and reasoning as for the decision to not grant citizenship?
Call this number. We're offering residency. And I'm like, you offer residency to a foreigner. I am not a foreigner. My mom was born and raised here. I am born and raised here. I have a full Bahamian father. So where does that leave me? No reason,
Has the situation with the ruling with the High Court, the 3-2 decision, has you think that's going to have any impact on your ability to reapply, or
It would, because my father and my mom, they weren't married, so it would help people in my situation because my dad is a full Bahamian, and people like me would be able to now receive citizenship.
So how does
Because
the
if
process
I'm
necessarily? Sorry. I was just asked, how does the process necessarily work? Right? Like, have you had the experience where you put in your paperwork, you have to keep resubmitting applications because something keeps getting lost?
that wasn't I came, I had my documents. I went through, they scanned everything. They said, this is everything. This is fine.
I want to ask about I don't know anything about your dad in this situation. Is he still with us, and is he still in the picture? And what is he saying about all of this as a Bahamian seeing his daughter going through this?
Wow. I mean, it's I mean, like any parent. Why? I mean, it's hard because I'm literally being crippled through life, almost midway through life, and it's a sad situation. I mean, he there's nothing he can do. I mean, he's tried, maybe to speak to people about it, or nothing seems to work, and so my father's helpless. The only thing him and my mom can do is just sit back and watch.
In the unique situation with your mom, who is a Bahamian
Yeah,
as
she
well
is.
now, this is
6
even
years after I was born.
even more unbelievable. But what is she saying? What does she say about it?
Oh, she's frustrated because, believe it or not, we're talking about my mom is a very public Bahamian figure. This is what I'm trying to bring to everyone's attention. These are people that you know and love. And I'm her daughter, and I'm being affected by this greatly. This is someone the government and the Bahamas loves to claim.
Yeah.
When she's out there doing what she does. Oh yes, yeah. That's us. That's the Bahamas. She Bahamian. Yeah. Yet her daughter is not. Her daughter is just a Jamaican.
Wow.
With a photo of how and why something like this came about, because I mean, yes, they weren't married, but my mom was also a minor. I mean, 16-year-old getting married? Kids getting married, really? So, I mean, even if she wanted to, she couldn't even get one when I was born. She couldn't apply until she was 18.
Wow.
And then, it's amazing because, like I say, unless people are directly affected by this, they are not sympathetic. But then, as Bahamians, a lot of us like to fly off to America to have kids, to give their children American status.
To be honest, I don't understand the arguments necessarily for restricting and limiting situations like this for persons getting citizenship. Because I know, I'm not going to be specific to the other person, a little bit younger than you are. And going kind of through basically the same thing. And it's very confusing to me because I hear from people that are close to the situation, I'll just say that, like all sorts of arguments as to why this person shouldn't have citizenship. And it just confuses me. It's like, why is this the public opinion? Why is it I don't know if Dwight, you've noticed this too. Why is it the public opinion that, I don't know. Like,
I really want to know, what is it really to them? I mean, this is just a form of hate. I don't understand what it's about. I honestly,
because it restricts people's, like in your case, restricts your ability to move. You're actually in a fortunate position because this other person doesn't have a national insurance number,
right?
And so they aren't able to participate in the formal economy. They also are in a situation where they cannot get a job, or at least a traditional job.
Right.
I'm not going to be too specific, but like all it does is creates a breeding ground for personal underground economy, which is quite massive.
Exactly.
Or persons result to basically crime, prostitution, all sorts of things, right? Which is also technically a part of that. And that's the thing I just don't get. It's why perpetuate and exacerbate this problem when we could just do things to mitigate and fix it in cases where obviously one of the parents is behaving, which is why I was confused, Dwight, that day we had the show in reference to the ruling, and people were so upset. It just didn't make sense to me.
A lot of people did not know. A lot of people think that if you have a Bahamian dad, even, it's funny, even people at the passport office or even natural life, they were confused too. They're like, they were under the assumption that if you had a full Bahamian dad, regardless, that you were fine. Like, a lot of people don't know this.
Right. Yeah. All right. So what we do here, people say that, especially before DNA, and you think back to 73 when the Constitution was written, that people say, well, at that time, there was no way to prove that this was the father, and that people would lie and people would say these things just to perhaps get money. Of course, things are different now. We do have DNA. But what do you say to people who still are very afraid that this could get out of control? Do you see that side of the argument? Do you understand where they're coming from with that?
Well, I mean, it could get out of control. Like, in what? What can explain that to me when you say out of control?
Honestly, I don't understand it. But apparently, Bahamian men can't control themselves, and they'll go and have a million children all over the place. Apparently.
Well, I asked them, what do they expect us to do? I mean, okay, I understand what's going on, but what Bahamians? What would you have these people do? Would you just would you like us? I mean, which problem is greater? I mean, men having kids all over the place, okay, or just have us here, just have us stuck. Have a problem is what I'm trying to say. You're gonna have people here stuck, statusless, jobless, unable to work, unable to function and live like the rest, like normal people.
Yeah.
Or problem necessarily, Dwight, is people having children, quote unquote, all over the place, because
they're still gonna have kids all over the place.
That's literally what we've been doing in this country. That's what we've been doing in this country for as long as I remember. We literally had, like, in cases like St. Salvador and a few other islands, like one or two fellas that populated most of the island, had most of the children, which is why a lot of people from certain family islands are all related to one another. So, like, I don't think that's a valid excuse for the situation. The issue isn't necessarily persons, men or women, having quote unquote plenty children. The issue is just the law.
Right.
That's the problem. I don't get it, because we kind of frame the conversation too when people say that's white as if, like, we don't have enough. I've seen people say we don't have no more space in the Bahamas, and I'm like, if you really leave Nassau, right, and you drive to any other family island, therefore is grounds why we should basically put the floodgates open. But in cases where persons are born in the country, or even in a situation where they're born to a Bahamian parent, like, there shouldn't even be a discussion.
Yeah.
And I remember during the referendum, we had this thing that people brought up. I think it was Shawnee Miller. In a situation with their child since, anyway, it's just confusing.
Don't tell me.
Yeah, because the conversation was, people were saying, well, what if it's a situation that her child can't get citizenship either? And
that's a very different one there. And because she's married, it would be, right? It's so strangely different.
In her case, either the child shouldn't be Bahamian. And I'm like, okay, come on, you're being ridiculous.
Okay.
Maybe we thrive on being ridiculous. I don't know what it is.
It's quite possible.
I ask, what's it really to them? I mean, having kids all over. What if America says, listen, you Bahamians flying over here trying to give your kids Americans, no, this is enough. This is not okay anymore, and you can't do this anymore.
Trump almost did it. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we have many questions for you. We're going to get back to this right after the break. Stay with us. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Watch this. Enjoy an elevated mobile experience with BTC, giving you
unlimited talk for the best conversations,
unlimited data for all your online fun,
and unlimited roaming to stay connected while overseas.
For just $50 per line.
Unlock unlimited mobile talk, data, and roaming when you sign up for BTC Superfast Fiber Internet with speed starting at 100 megabits per second. Enjoy more great savings and value. Upgrade or sign up today. Visit any BTC store or btcbahamas.com. Conditions apply.
RBC has been growing with the Bahamas for over 110 years with new ways to bank better. We are committed to deepening our relationship with existing clients and forging new ones in the future with new products and services and investment in the community, youth, and education initiatives. We are here to help you grow.
We're here to help you flourish. We're RBC.
RBC Royal Bank. Banking reimagined.
How? Start your mornings the best way with our 2 for $6 breakfast sandwiches at Wendy's. For a limited time, choose any 2 of your favorite breakfast sandwiches, including the fresh Strachan sack muffin, honey buttermilk chicken biscuit, double sausage muffin, or the sausage egg and cheese biscuit. Wash it all down with our cold brew shake or coffee. Better mornings always start at Wendy's. Wendy's, different inside and out. Excludes airport locations.
Crystal Cruises is setting sail for the Bahamas once again. Crystal will follow the strictest safety protocols as guests travel to Exuma, San Salvador, Long Island, and more. With a commitment to keep communities and guests safe and protect the environment, Crystal's decision to homeport in the Bahamas will boost tourism and support the local economy. Learn more at crystalcruises.com.
Let's face it, in an increasingly competitive market, your business needs a competitive edge. That means offering your employees the benefits they want. Give them the benefit of retiring their way with the RF Multi-Employer Pension Plan. Choose from some of the best performing investment funds in the market while taking it with your team of 2 or 2,000. Our pension specialists can design a plan for you. Contact us at pensions@rfgroup.com to learn more about the RF Multi-Employer Pension Plan. RF, money at work.
Postpaid with the Live just got better. Say hello to more with our new Liberty Prime plan. 800 text and talk minutes and 15 gigabytes of data to do the things you love right here at home and even when you travel. With the all-new Liberty Prime, Liberty More, Liberty Premium, and Liberty Elite, you're good at home and good to roam. Roam again. Alive. Believe in best.
Believe in best.
Digital banking, online, RBC. RBC banking, online, pay your bills anytime.
RBC Digital Banking is so easy. Granny and Granddad can do it. Sign up for online banking or download the RBC Caribbean app.
With RBC, it's safe and easy. Send your money hassle-free. RBC.
Visit RBC Banking Reimagined.
Travel less, but vacation more by indulging yourself and your family with the ultimate staycation getaway at Atlantis. Sleep in, relax, play, go out. Say yes to a fantastic staycation in your very own paradise just over the bridge. For reservations, call 363-6483 or visit Atlantis Local on Facebook for details.
Are you ready for effortless hurricane protection? Then you need to get to know LA Impact Windows and Doors. Forget the plywood and get the lowest and affordable prices on hurricane windows and doors for all your residential and commercial projects. You can feel safe and secure with LA Impact Windows and Doors. Located in the Southland Shopping Center, East Street South. LA Impact Windows and Doors. Impacting your views. Call 322-3667 or 829-7822.
Let's face it, in an increasingly competitive market, your business needs a competitive edge. That means offering your employees the benefits they want. Give them the benefit. Choose from some of the best performing investment funds in the market while taking advantage of low administrative costs and professional management. Whether you're a team of 2 or 2,000, our pension specialists can design a plan for you. Contact us at pensions@rfgroup.com to learn more about the RF Multi-Employer Pension Plan. RF, money at work.
Enjoy an elevated mobile experience with BTC giving you
unlimited talk for the best conversations,
Unlimited data for all your online fun.
and unlimited roaming to stay connected while overseas.
For just $50 per line.
Unlock unlimited mobile talk, data, and roaming when you sign up for BTC Superfast Fiber Internet with speed starting at 100 megabits per second. Enjoy more great savings and value. Upgrade or sign up today. Visit any BTC store or btcbahamas.com. Conditions apply.
You invest in your children, your home, and your community. But are you investing in your financial future? At CFAL, we specialize in investment management, retirement planning, mutual funds, and private wealth management. Our team of experts never stops helping you plan for tomorrow. Because tomorrow begins to see what our financial advisors can do for you. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
Stay a step ahead of technology with certainty and support from Custom Computers. Our know-how team is here to help you zero in on your next big tech purchase, finding solutions that take your productivity to the next level using only the best and most reliable brands. With 4 stores all across Nassau on East Bay, West Bay, Old Fort Bay, and Palmdale, there's no stopping you from stepping up your tech. Reach out to us at 396-1100. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
The Jeff Rogers Basketball Camp is back. That's right, it's time for the 33rd annual Jeff Rogers Basketball Camp, July 5th through July 30th, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. daily for boys and girls ages 5 to 18 years at the Blue Hill Sporting Complex Sports Center. Registration forms available at the Seventh-day Adventist office, Tony Williams Darling Highway, and at jeffrogersbasketballcamp.com. Call 818-4509 for basketball camp, July 5th through July 30th.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
KB and Sting, coming with the Bohemian team. Come on. Woo!
We are back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan with Don Sargent. We are talking with our guest this morning. She wishes to remain anonymous, but we're having a fantastic conversation. We know this has happened. A lot of Bahamian men who have children with foreign women here in the Bahamas have had to adopt their children. I know for the has this discussion come up? Has your father talked about it? Have you talked to him about the fact that he may have to adopt you?
Oh, I mean, at my age?
Yeah, right. And again,
I'm not sure how that would even work. I don't think he's allowed to at this point, huh?
I'm not sure, but it would be ridiculous. It would be absolutely ridiculous. It is.
Yeah, it's. I heard of something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I heard of another story. I think the gentleman was an officer, and his son was in this same situation, and they were fighting this in court for many, many years. He was surprised to know that he had to adopt his son, but I think it was a little too late. I think it was past 18. I'm 31.
Oh, is that the limit on adoption here? You can't adopt anybody? Oh boy. Okay. Oh boy. Let's see if we can do this. We've got a couple calls calling in. Let's take these really quickly. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hi.
With a very intelligent person speaking on the line there. I'd like to give a quick situation. We know of shotgun weddings. And I'm saying, I'm aware that this situation has happened to Bahamians, have no connection with any foreigner, period. And they have actually had to have other family member do documents like affidavits, whatever, so that they can actually get a passport. So this thing is not just affecting, it's just affecting persons who are born here, period. Not just because you have a foreign connection. And as I said, I'm in very, very deep distress about the situation. So much so, I have forego my citizenship application until I had resided in this country for more than 18 years in sympathy of that situation, of those situations.
Well, okay. All right. Thank you very much. I mean, so that wasn't an option either. No one said, hey, if you get the DNA test, then we can do this, and then it shouldn't be an issue.
When the referendum came around, because I think they admit were to go through. I mean, that's something we can all do. I mean, I got one. I mean, it's definitely who you say he is, So I don't know. I don't know if that's something they want to add, but yes, it's affecting men too. Like you said, shotgun weddings, and now men are being forced to marry women they really don't want to marry. It's a lot.
We'll take this one final call here. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight, and to your guest.
Hi.
Good morning to the nation. And good morning, Dawn. My sincere, heartfelt condolences. I feel, this is very saddening. This entire mess that yourself and the thousands of other kids who are born to single Bahamian men are experiencing. Can you hear me clearly, Dwight?
Yes, I can.
And some of the things that jumps out at me automatically is we have in the Constitution this disenfranchisement to men as well as to our child or children. The very same men who wrote these laws put in place laws that seek to hold the very same men accountable to financially taking care and taking responsibility for the same children that they're not, or the same child they're not permitting us to pass our own citizenship onto. How crazy is that? We are living in a very mixed up society, and it cannot be Dwight, just based on that count alone, that you are disenfranchised and cannot pass your citizenship on to your own flesh and blood, but the courts could hold you accountable to taking care of your own flesh and blood. It cannot be that the original framers of our Constitution had this level of crazy intended deliberately in our law. Yeah. And what's that? I'll end on this point, Dwight. What's really saddening about this whole mess? The biggest part of this whole mess is in 2021, we now have a government in place, even after this same law has existed for decades. We now have a government in place that has been given a golden opportunity, has been given a parachute in order to keep allowing for that law to exist based on a ruling from the Supreme Court, supported by or affirmed by the appeals court. They are seeking to further cement the backwardness in our Constitution by challenging it at the Privy Council level. That is seriously insane. Seriously.
It is.
Thank you for the opportunity. And ma'am, one of my strong recommendations to my government, to my leader, coming in the next election, is to clear up the same mess, all the backlogs of these kinds of cases, as well as to correct the error in Article 7 of the Constitution. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you for calling.
Wow. So what do we got? 30 seconds left. What's next? What do you do now?
Well, I guess nothing, but wait.
Yeah, this
That's
is
all
very
I can
sad.
do.
This text just came in. My son had to adopt his daughter and had to sign. It cost him $5,000 last month. It's a total disgrace, and it needs to be dealt with right now.
I mean, there are a lot of men of character. They want to pass this on. They want rights to their kids.
Yeah.
There are men out here that want that. They're not even considering that.
I hope that you keep us posted. We got some encouraging calls during the break. Hopefully they'll be able to help the situation. But as you said, there are thousands of people in this situation, and they need help as well.
People, people.
Yeah.
You want to keep it this way, but someone is being greatly affected right now by this.
Thank you very much. Keep us posted, as we said, and hopefully we can have you on one day with your passport and and you can tell us all your names. We look forward to that. Thanks again, and keep.
Thank you so much.
Keep the faith there. Okay. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Morning Blend Business, we're talking about building codes here in the Bahamas. Are we inspecting buildings around here? Could what happened?
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
This is the Guardian News Network update on the hour. Hello, everyone. I'm Charlene Ferguson. Government has asked the Court of Appeal to stay its recent ruling on citizenship and grant leave for government to appeal that decision to the Privy Council. The Attorney General's office in an affidavit cited 8 grounds for appeal, including that the majority of the court erred in not recognizing the right to citizenship at birth to every person born in this country after July 9, 1973, having regard to the Bahamas Nationality Act. In writing the court's majority decision, Justice Stella Crane Scott found that they were satisfied the proper interpretation which the framers of the Constitution intended to give to Article 6 was that every person born in this country after July 9, 1973 shall become a citizen at birth if either of his biological parents is a citizen, irrespective of marital status of the parent at the time of birth. In other news, 11 new cases of COVID-19 identified on Bimini and Katki have been linked to a local resort there. That from the Ministry of Health, which says the cases indicate an incident of clustering at the resort. They were among 43 new cases recorded Sunday, which pushed total COVID infections to 12,586. 710 of those are still active. And that third tranche of COVID vaccine from the COVAX facility will not be here until the end of July. An official with the Pan American Health Organization told the Nassau Guardian the delay is due to the manufacturer's difficulty in meeting global demand for the vaccine. But the schedule for vaccinations in New Providence has already been scaled back through July 2nd with reduced hours of operation. That's what's making headlines at this hour. Stay with us. AP Update is next.
Beulah, gal, can you believe this? We are now the patrol queens of the neighborhood. We now large and in charge. So we need to check out what's going on in everybody's yard. What about that gun that we know that Junior and his homeboys just ran out? Can we report that too? Of course we can. But we could be in deep trouble if they find out. We need to report what we see, Beulah. When you call Crime Stoppers, they just answer your call in Miami. So then we can report everything? Guns, where they hiding the drugs, who shoot who part of which gang, or who disturbing the peace with the loud music and the motorcycles. Then our neighborhood will be the best in the Bahamas, and everybody gonna want to come live here. And then our house price will go up, gal. So what we waiting on? What's the number?
If you see something, say something. Let us all pitch in and stop the crime before it's your time. Call 328-8477 from Nassau or 242-300-8477 from the Family Islands. Or text us through the Crack Crime Bahamas app.
It's time for your monthly loan payment. Tired of creditors pounding at your door? Sign up for a debt consolidation loan from Fidelity Bank and consolidate your debt into one low monthly payment. What's more, you will also earn interest on a built-in savings account. The pandemic has curbed many freedoms, but at Fidelity, our focus is to help regain your financial freedom. Visit a branch or speak to Fidelity Bank at 356-7764. COVID safety measures in place at all branches. Fidelity, we're good for you.
This traffic report is brought to you by Shield Insurance and Prudential Loss Adjusters.
Final look at traffic now for this morning, and for the most part, we've got good weather cooperation during the morning commute. As expected, there was that final late run on traffic, with many of the active corridors becoming a whole lot busier within the last 30 minutes or so. Folks attempting to beat or get in before the 9 o'clock bell. But alas, we still got heavy morning commute, contingents that are roaming the streets. Prince Charles Drive slowed down a bit, just more cars coming out, so it's not bumper to bumper or anything like that, but quite active. Soldier Road heading on to the Wolf Road intersection. Now that's where traffic really slows up. Got a lengthy traffic line there. So pretty good this morning. You got no lengthy hangups coming out of there on the Shirley Street. Where Shirley Street itself, you've got solid traffic flow heading along Shirley Street into the downtown area. On the west end of New Providence, we've got West Bay Street slowed down a bit, but that's a normal look out there. It's not overly crowded on the ride into downtown. But we still got to have concern and must be expressed for the areas of Classic Roads, about Highway, and to a lesser extent, Carmichael Road. It's later, of course, in the morning, and we've still got hefty traffic lines that are stuck in those corridors. Those traffic's going to get out late today. This National Traffic Report of this hour being brought to you by the folks over at Jazz Johnson, the only insurance agents and brokers giving you peace of mind of the Bahamas for over 100 years. At jazzjohnson.com, you can pay premiums, your new policies at any branch office, pay it your own way. Use online banking or through the local banks. Call Jazz Johnson at 397-2100 for more info. With your Eye in the Sky look at traffic in real time, I'm V.A.
I'm Rita Foley with an AP News Minute. Thunderstorms have been rolling through Surfside, Florida this morning as a search and rescue effort tries to find anyone who may still be known dead. 150 others missing. Here's our Julie Walker.
It's taking a toll on everyone, including ER Dr. Howard Lieberman, who's been there since day one.
A good friend of mine, he lost 3 people. Another friend of mine just texted me, her friend is missing. Please, could you find her? And then you have the loved ones that show up and they're screaming the name of the person who's missing.
Martin Langsfeld is missing his sister and brother-in-law.
I really believe miracles do happen.
Miracles do happen, he said. The National Weather Service is warning of unprecedented heat in parts of the Northwest with record-shattering temperatures for much of the week. I'm Rita Foley.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the host are the network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Tuesday, June 29th, 2021. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Today, we are talking about building codes and safety standards, especially in light of that tragic situation that continues to unfold in Surfside, Florida, near Miami. And we're talking about all of this with noted contractors joining us this morning. Good morning, Leonard Sands. Great to have you with us.
Good morning, Dwight. Great to be here.
All right. So we're going to get to what the standards are here locally and what we need to be looking out for. But I just want to get your opinion on what we're seeing in Florida, what's been going on over the past few days. Have you ever seen anything like this in the Western world, at least? But I mean, my goodness, what could, in your professional opinion, what do you think that could be all about?
Well, and I'll tell you, Dwight, it was quite extraordinary watching the video footage of the collapse of that building, doing the research all last night and into this morning. That's a quite exceptional case of building failure. Reinforced concrete design, and again, I would say I'm not a structural engineer. I'm a building technologist by profession, and buildings don't generally collapse like that without there being just a lot of things happening on the subsurface, traumatically like that. That's why it's reinforced with rebars, and so you have time, there's cracking, there's an opportunity for you to see before you have something like that happen. So I'll tell you right now, this is going to be an extraordinary case study of what went wrong here. From what I've read, from the reports, from the initial reports from the engineer's assessment as late as 2018, the building had a normal assessment of the condition of the building. So that's important to note. But what they did note was that there's a lot of activity in construction going on around the building. And one of the survivors said they felt the building shaking and moving significantly with the construction that's going on around the building. Yeah. And of course, as you know, Surfside is obviously on the beach side of Florida.
Right.
Soil it's not like in the Bahamas. It's not, limestone rock. It could be shifting soils and what's not. So
yeah, I was going to ask about that. That could be.
On.
I wanted to ask about that. That could be a factor. The fact that
if you go and take a look at a photo of where it's situated, you're seeing the condo building and you're seeing sand. Like you're seeing the condo building and you're seeing sand. That's what you're seeing. So it is situated very close to the shoreline. And obviously the studies and tests and everything would be done to determine what exactly caused it. But the last engineering report that I actually went in public records last night, I read through it, and it ended. It's normal what they saw, nothing out of ordinary. The building was in good shape, except for being 40 years old. And obviously there are things that happen that cause that kind of failure.
Wow. So it's going to be interesting to see what comes out of this. This is really very, very odd.
Yeah.
And again, no unusual materials used there, no shortcuts, it seems, right? Yeah.
I mean, typical reinforced concrete design. I'll say this, and again, doing the research, I downloaded the plans for the structure. 326 pages of documents. I mean, the engineering design was solid. You see everything there from the piles. Everything is extenuating factors outside of how the building was designed, resulted in what happened recently. There had to be external elements happening because, again, it is typical construction, very well built, lasted 40 years. Engineering report up until 3 years ago said the building's fine, and then you have what happened here. So there's going to be a ton of lawsuits coming out of this. I could tell you, not only from the persons who may or may not have lost lives, but obviously from whoever was doing work around that site that may have impacted what happened there.
Oh, yeah. I'm just curious. We're going to bring this home in a second, but I'm just curious. The tenants in the remaining tower right next to it, they're staying there. Would you do that? Would you recommend that? That is a little too close for comfort. For me,
I personally wouldn't. I personally wouldn't, considering that a third of the building that I occupy is now on the ground. I personally wouldn't. But again, one part of a structure could be totally intact with the other part totally failed. And that's what we're seeing there. The rest of the part of the building was compromised itself.
My goodness. All right. So let's talk about that in the Bahamian context. We see this all the time. We see homes, maybe not 12 stories, but we see homes with giant cracks. We know that there's a major issue here. How concerned should we be about issues like that? And I know they said there were some cracks in that building, but again, it's 40 years old. But how concerned should we be about cracks and especially in aging structures here?
Well, one of the things that I think we need to appreciate in the Bahamas is that the topography of our land is totally different and the composition of our soil is different. We're on limestone rock. So when we do have cracks, and they could be non-structural and look very scary, or structural, but the challenge that we need to consider all the time is that we got to talk about what's the possibility of a total failure like we see, what we saw on Surfside. And that's an extraordinary case. Like you mentioned before, you wouldn't see that in the West Coast because the West Coast have some of the best construction practices anywhere in the world. And the Bahamas is typical or even higher in our building standards than that. So it's the first thing I want to say. We typically have a higher building code and standard of construction that we see in North America because we're not trying to race and get a building up. We're trying to be as thorough as possible. And I know that sounds weird, but I'm telling you, we kind of put a lot of money into the engineering design and concrete structures here. So I think for the foreseeable future, that kind of stuff is not really something that Bahamians or persons of the Bahamas should concern themselves about. Is it possible? Absolutely. Anything's possible with it.
All right. So we have had, though, we've seen that. I know personally people who had to move out of their homes because of all the cracks that they had in their walls. What accounts for that? And what can be done during the construction process that would prevent that from happening? I mean, even some of the best built homes around here seem to have cracks running through them.
Absolutely. But let's talk about the building components you're using. You're using concrete or concrete products. Concrete cracks. It's the nature of the construction product that you're using. Concrete cracks. What we learned in engineering design is that concrete will crack. What you try to do is determine where it will crack. It will crack. Masonry will crack. Just kind of. So in commercial construction, right? If you have a wall that's 100 feet long, in commercial construction, what we tend to do is every 10 foot, we put a joint. So if it will crack along that 10-foot joint would be put there. Typically inside your house on the residential side, you won't plus the nature of the material, crack. But there are some elastomeric compounds that you could add to your mix of mortar, so it would lessen the eventuality of cracking, but it's the nature of concrete and concrete products, cracks.
Mm-hmm. All right, so if you do have to rebuild, nothing to be concerned about, or to
No. Dwight, no one could bring me an example of where you were living in a structure at any point in time in the Commonwealth of Bahamas, and it had a total failure where the building fell down on somebody.
Wow.
You could find me that record, bring it. That's not how concrete behaves. And that's why I mentioned this is an extraordinary case.
Yeah.
Concrete doesn't behave in that way. Concrete is designed to warn you before it fails.
Mm-hmm.
That's why over the last 100 years or so, the main building component is reinforced concrete because it is a warning system in its design. It's designed to tell you it's cracking. Look at this, it's cracking more, it opens up. And there's some structures where you could literally see through to the next floor and it still won't fall. You've seen it in your home, it's several cracks, and those things shouldn't be things that you need to be concerned about. But again, in the Bahamas, because of our subsurface, you won't have absolute failure and your house come crashing down. That's not likely to happen.
Yeah. Now, what you mentioned the sea earlier, of course, we're different, as you say, from Flores in Florida in terms of the topography. But if you are nearer to the sea, should you be more concerned about your structure, even if it is concrete? Does that make a difference at all?
Absolutely, absolutely. What you should do is have a proper engineering documents and build it according to the engineering drawing if you are near the sea, because the conditions near salty and obviously the sea where the wind and waves could impact houses on the shoreline, different from houses inland, should be considered. You're inland, you've got the protections of all the houses around you, probably inside areas where you don't get that heavy waves crashing at your house. You've got a house out on the shoreline, and you got a high tide along with a moon, and all of a sudden you got waves crashing against your building. You need to have considerations in the engineering design. So the water is eating away at the foundation, which your house is on. Your house possibly, if it's not designed properly, could slide into the ocean. I mean, these are real possibilities. But again, the engineer would be a professional who would consider all those things and make the suggestions and engineering design to counteract any conditions that you may meet out there.
You don't have any examples of that happening here?
No houses have slid into the sea, but I could probably send you some photos of houses that look very scary because almost all of the material is almost excavated from under the house by the waves and water, but the house is still there.
I can imagine. Wow. All right.
Yeah.
So you've been talking about a lot about concrete so far, but we know that a lot of people are using some new materials in their construction these days. Let's talk about that. How secure should we feel about that? What's your professional view on all of that?
Well, and my view on that is varied because concrete is by far the most robust, but wood is just as strong in the right application with the right design. I've obviously worked on development projects in the family of islands, on resort projects on the ocean, made of timber and concrete. So I did mention timber and concrete. Foundation is timber and piles, and everything above that is wood. And still there through Dorian, still there through all the other hurricanes, unscathed, untouched. So while I think that we are using other elements of composites construction, and that's what we're doing a lot more now. Composite construction. The base building code that we still follow requires reinforced concrete foundations, footings, piles, piers, and it attaches to the ground into the rock, and then you come up above that, and you could use wood, you could use metal, you could use all kind of different other external elements, but your foundation will be secure with concrete. Now, in terms of hurricane resistance, obviously, you have to be careful in what the building envelope you use. We see a lot of light gauge in our houses. In Florida, where we go to vacations, many of the hotels we stay in are all light gauge and heavy gauge metal stud with some skin on it and an envelope and stucco. All of the major brands, I can tell you, that's what they are. And we are comfortable in those, and they go through hurricanes and they survive. So we are starting to get a little more trendy. and you look around New Providence, the landscape is changing. It's looking very, very savvy, and it's a good thing. But I think that architects and engineers have done the research to make sure that they're not bringing in to our environment building products and composite systems that doesn't withstand the environmental factors that we know deal with, which is called hurricanes up to category 4 and 5. And they consider all those things before they come with the final design.
Okay. All right. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about inspections. We know this building in Surfside was due for its 40-year inspection in just a few weeks, but we want to talk about that here. Do we have a schedule like that here? And what homeowners should be doing in terms of inspections? Do they need to do that regularly? And buildings, we got a lot more tall buildings, high-rise buildings going up here. To be too concerned about collapses like that, but are there other things we need to be paying attention to? We're going to talk about all of that with Leonard Sands after the break. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
Hello, sir. Your credit card bill is due. Hello, sir. It's time for your monthly loan payment. Tired of creditors pounding at your door? Sign up for a debt consolidation loan from Fidelity Bank and consolidate your debt into one low monthly payment. What's more, you will also earn interest on a built-in savings account. The pandemic has curbed many freedoms, but at Fidelity, our focus is to help regain your financial freedom. Visit a branch or speak to Fidelity Bank at 356-7764. COVID safety measures in place at all branches. Fidelity, we're good for you.
You invest in your children, your home, and your community. But are you investing in your financial future? At CFAL, we specialize in investment management, retirement planning, mutual funds, and private wealth management. Our team of experts never stops helping you plan for tomorrow. Because tomorrow begins to others can do for you. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
Boy, why you look so mashed up like clothes at the washer?
No, boy, just a hard day. What?
Hard day? What happened? The breakfast lady ran out of tuna and gritty.
We need to start joking about everything, you know. This serious, boy. This real serious, boy.
Boy, what's serious? Tell me.
All right, well, today, boss gave us boy one big contract. And nobody else get a chance and nobody say nothing.
Boy, you know that ain't right. You know government contracts ain't supposed to go that way.
Yeah, but nobody's saying nothing. Boss man just tell people to sign the papers. Then he send me to meet his boy downtown and collect this envelope.
You need to tell somebody. You need to become a whistleblower.
You know I's a real man, but I never blow no whistle. I be drunk all my life and drunk, you know.
No way. A whistleblower is someone who tells people what they see when they see something wrong happening at work.
But I ain't no whistleblower, and I ain't no snitch. I still white there, you know.
But ain't nobody can know it's you. All you gotta do is call Crime Stoppers, or you could text them from inside the Crack Crime Bahamas app. They don't ask about you. And your call goes straight through to Miami, so nobody know you is. And if you text, your message get mixed up like Kong Salad.
Call 328-8477 from Nassau or 242-300-8477 from the Family Islands.
This is Guardian Radio.
It's time for your morning business report, brought to you by CFAL, noting that the negative impact of COVID-19 on foreign exchange is the onset of the economic crisis will end this Thursday. The bank saying that as of July 1st, it will revert to a maximum of $5 million on both net long and short exposures, ending the long Bahamian dollar open position limit on foreign exchange transactions implemented in April 2020. The limit for other transactions at Tier 1 capital commercial banks will be fixed at 5%. Read more about this in today's Guardian Business section. In the midst of its extensive redevelopment, Sandals Royal Bahamian Resort forced to remove its temporary safety fencing after video contending the company had restricted beach access adjacent to its property went viral. The company, issuing a statement yesterday, explained that it received approval from the requisite authorities to erect the fencing as it was moving heavy equipment to the property and removing debris. However, the viral video showed that the company's fencing left only a small access to the beach, which the author of the video complained was not enough. Sandals noting in the statement that the process of they felt this was the best thing to do, but it was not wishing to hinder anyone from accessing the beach. Just over 55,000 travelers passed through Lynden Pindling International Airport last month, according to the latest data from the Nassau Airport Development Company. While tourism numbers so far this year remain far below record arrivals seen in 2019, the 55,662 departures from LPIA in May far exceed the 238 recorded just a year before, when the country was under lockdown measures and borders were closed to stem the spread of COVID-19. Kalina Holdings Bahamas Limited first quarter results for the 3 months ending March 31st, revealing a good start to a recovery year from the company. For the company, as it revealed net investment income for the quarter of $8 million compared to a loss of $6.1 million in the same quarter last year. The company noted in a statement on the first quarter results that market conditions have begun to recover and premium revenues have begun to trend upward. Or 0.18 or 18 cents per ordinary share for the 3 months ended March 31st. You can read more about it in today's Guardian Business section. And in your Market Watch, recapping trading on the BISX from Monday, your market movers, AML Foods Limited moving 1,000 shares, up 6 cents, closing at $6.50. CIBC First Caribbean Bank moving 1,470, up 22 cents, closing at $10.20. Finco moving 2,000, up 11 cents to $8.30. Consolidated Water down 8 cents to $2.44. Emira Incorporated up 3 cents, closing at $11.26. The BISX All Share Index closing at 1,987.22, up 13.23. That's your Market Watch. And that is your morning business report, brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. And we are back here with Morning Blend Business on this Tuesday morning. Dwight Strachan with you, talking with Leonard Sands, former president of the Bahamian Contractors Association, talking about this horrible situation in Surfside, Florida, but looking at it from a Bahamian angle about what we are doing here to prevent any such disasters. All right, so do we have inspections? Do we have an inspection schedule? Are there rules that we have to look at? What do we do here? What's required?
Okay, so this is where it gets really, really, really dicey.
Uh-oh.
To my knowledge, the best of my knowledge, we have a one-stop process for building inspections, occupancy certificate, a permanent occupancy certificate. After you would have achieved that, the process ends. Whether it's a house, a commercial structure, something 50 stories tall, once you would have achieved your occupancy certificate, there is no more engagement from the state in your building.
So that's at the beginning, basically.
That's it. Except for elevator inspections, which you have to get every year.
Right.
Because that life safety, that system inside there needs to be tested because it's carrying persons up and down on a beltway, and if something fails, you're going to have it there.
Mm-hmm.
So outside of that, outside of commercial buildings would have, or residential buildings would have elevators. The Ministry of Works and the Inspectorate Department will never enter your property again.
Oh my goodness. So
ever again.
40 years, 50 years, 80 years, doesn't matter.
They don't have no legal reason to, unless you're going to do an improvement to the building, and again, what you're seeking, no reason to enter your property again.
My word.
So, are we exposed? Absolutely, in my opinion. However, let me make this comment. I'm looking at a copy of the Health and Safety at Work Act 2002 for the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, and the responsibility of the employer to provide a safe working environment for its employees strongly indicates that regular inspections should be carried out to ensure that the employer is providing a safe work environment.
Okay, now who's supposed to do that? That's the responsibility of the employer to find an inspector, or will there be an inspector sent to you by a government agency? How does that work?
Let's see where it goes. Section 22 of the same act, the establishment of a health and safety committee at every place of employment where 20 or more persons are employed shall cause a committee to be established known as Health and Safety Committee. So let's look at any should have a Health and Safety Committee per this act, which primary job is to ensure, that word is very strong, to ensure that the place of work is a safe environment for its employees.
So that's
That
basically
includes stability.
So that's basically the employees on the committee.
The employees on the committee can form this safety committee.
Right.
It does not involve the Ministry of Works, but it's not saying that consultants can't be brought in to create this committee, even though it says that it doesn't say have to be employees. It just say that if you have a place that has employees 20 or more persons, you have to have this committee. The persons who are on that committee could be persons who are external to the company or consultants.
Right.
But it says legally that the responsibility is on the employer, not the government of the Bahamas, not the Ministry of Works. The employer is responsible for maintaining a safe environment for the employees.
So if it is the employees, we're supposed to assume that these employees will have a big problem here. If you don't do something, what are we going to do to you?
Right. Here's where it gets even trickier, because I'm telling you, many businesses do not understand what this Health and Safety at Work Act imposes a responsibility on them. It is also a responsibility under this act of the employer to ensure that the employees get training on safety. So if you train people on safety, they're able to look at things and determine whether the environment is safe enough for their fellow employees. That's all in this act.
Okay.
That's been in place from 2002, February 1st. Enforced. 2002, February 1st. So again, I think what we did, because our country is small and we don't have the resources, the government at the time sought to shift the burden of that responsibility to consistently maintain and monitor buildings and shift it on the employers who would own those buildings and probably have maintenance departments and maintenance head and the kind of technical persons who could assist in that.
Blind eye to this problem until later, maybe, when I have
that is the risk. That is the risk, because it is not a state-driven requirement.
Right.
Now, as we move forward, what you mentioned before, with taller buildings, large buildings, the landscape is changing. Should we now consider making that a state responsibility for every building that has a certain amount of persons working in it to have a yearly inspection? In my opinion, I think that should be something that we should be talking about, in my personal opinion.
Yeah. So along the lines of the training the employees in safety protocols, I know that there's supposed to be fire drills in large companies as well. I don't know how often those happen, but so this sounds like this is along the same lines. The onus is on us, basically.
The onus is on the employer to provide and maintain a safe working environment for their employees. And any breach of that, the person liable is the employer. So again, this document is not long. With 31 pages, but it really makes sure that the employer knows the responsibility to make sure your
health and safety is not the same as structural or engineering safety, right? So
no, it's not the same thing.
And so,
but Dwight, if you have a building that has 20 or more employees, we imagine it's going to be in the size of a building. You may have a maintenance manager, and then his primary responsibility as an employee of the company for the employer is then that maybe we need to have a structural engineer look at this column or this situation. You see, you can't sidestep that responsibility of the employer to maintain the environment for his employees.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk. Let's say we get our act together in this country soon, and we are going to require these, let's say in the future, very soon, require inspections. An inspector, what would you look for? What should you look for in a building, in a residential building or in a commercial building? What are things that you would look for during an inspection?
Well, those things different from residential to commercial. Right? Obviously, with the residential inspections, you're looking for your air conditioning system air intrusions, where you have gas, things like that, where your air conditioning system is functioning the way it should, where your electrical system is meeting its demand requirement, or you need to upgrade. Those kind of things you look at. And of course, the wear and tear of your actual home. How many times in an amount of 10 years you have to paint the home? Is the soffits getting exposed and moist and need to be replaced? So those kind of general cursory things you look at in residential. In commercial construction, you're going to look at your systems. How's my HVAC system working? How's my building envelope performing? During the last hurricanes, did I have any damage to my roof? But my roof is usually flat in these large buildings. So I got some of my window panes coming out of these large buildings as they water coming in. And then you want to look at your elevator, your beltway systems, all the things that carry the human life in your building. You want to make sure that all those are functioning properly. And the important thing, you should get an independent assessment of your building. And this is what they did in the Chaplain Towers. They had an independent engineer support on the building. Independent engineers did a whole comprehensive assessment. I forgot how many pages it was when I looked at it. Some 500 and something pages in this report. And it ended by saying that building was fit. They saw no challenges for the foreseeable future outside of routine maintenance and surface stuff. So taking that same example, if you have a building here that's a condo building, 30 condos in the building, why wouldn't you spend the money to get a yearly or every 3 years independent engineer's assessment of your building to ensure that not only the occupants are safe and that you don't see liability down the road for some situation that may not be as catastrophic, but could cause you to have some challenges in the future.
Well, especially if there's an association. You better
Absolutely.
do that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, you said it.
So you're collecting these fees, put them to work.
Right. All right, so how often? You said 1 or 3 years, but I mean, how often realistically should you do this? Or what do you say?
I would say progressively with age. Let's look at anything. You know, when you're a small kid, you go to the doctor more frequently. As you get older, that you don't have to go as frequent. It's the reverse with building. 20 years old, you may want to increase your frequency from every 5 years to maybe every 3 years. If your building is 40 years, maybe you're going to go from every 3 years to every 2 or every 1 year, because it impacts how much could go wrong with the age of the building. It really matters. How long has the building been standing against the elements? How much things have happened to the building? And now you want to make sure you have an eye on all those things as frequently in intervals as possible.
Yeah.
So if I were to suggest what we do, I think we start with buildings that are at least 10 years old and require them to at least have one independent engineer's inspection for the first 10 years. Just one.
I'm curious. Has it come up before? Why don't we require this? Has the Contractors Association required this, or said this to the government that you need to consider this? We need to have regular inspections of buildings. Why are we doing this?
As I've been, Dwight, to be very honest with you, and I know the answer why. Because the need, in being here 40 plus years, we respond to need. We've been fortunate. We have never had a need to require an inspection of a building because of a failure or part of it falling away. So why fix it if it hasn't been broken? And that's the mindset we approach a lot of things with.
But we have had
progressively into the future. We have to change that.
But we have had condemned buildings before. I think I remember.
We have.
Right downtown.
And guess what? The reason why they were condemned is because we could see they were probably going to fail. We could see that the balconies are collapsing, and you got people walking under like the post office building, and pieces of the mortar was falling down, and you could see that it needed addressing. But what we didn't speak to is why we allowed it to get to that state first. Routine maintenance stops that from happening. And so we have a lot of things that we need to address as we progress this nation. But one of the things we need to look at is that the long haul approach of let's prevent. Let's not wait till it happens and then put the legislation in. Let's know, wow, they already had this in place. My building needs self-inspection at the first 10 years, and then at 15 years, I need to have 2 inspections, and at 20 years, I need to have 2. Let's approach it that way. Yeah. We're not there yet. I just want to be honest with you. We're not there yet.
My goodness. Well, all right. We're going to take a final break, and when we come back, I have a few more questions for you. We're going to get some of your text messages in, folks, and might even be able to squeeze in a call. This is Morning Blend on Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. We're talking with Leonard Sands, talking about building safety and codes and standards. We'll be back after these messages.
You invest in your children, your home, and your community. But are you investing in your financial future? At CFAL, we specialize in investment management, retirement planning, mutual funds, and private wealth management. Our team of experts never stops helping you plan for tomorrow. Because tomorrow begins today. Call us at 502-7010 to see what our financial advisors can do for you. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
Hello, sir. Your credit card debt consolidation loan from Fidelity Bank and consolidate your debt into one low monthly payment. What's more, you will also earn interest on a built-in savings account. The pandemic has curbed many freedoms, but at Fidelity, our focus is to help regain your financial freedom. Visit a branch or speak to Fidelity Bank at 356-7764. COVID safety measures in place at all branches. Fidelity, we're good for you.
And we've got your final look at weather for this morning. We've got rich tropical moisture coupled with lingering troughing near the area, across the whole area, actually, will continue to trigger bouts of unsettled weather over the islands. Meanwhile, building high pressure will maintain moderate to fresh breezes across the country through tonight. Boaters should be alert for waterspouts and gusty winds and higher seas and reduced visibility to 3 nautical miles or less in heavy showers and thunderstorms. And beachgoers in the central southeast Bahamas should exercise caution. Today's forecast calls for variably cloudy, warm, and breezy conditions with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. Smoke-craft caution in effect for the southeast and central Bahamas. Another hot day in store. Highs getting up to around 90 Fahrenheit, 32 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to 74 Fahrenheit, 23 Celsius. This wet weather pattern will remain across the country for the next few days, at least through Thursday, as surface ridge will continue to build westwards as well. So for Wednesday and Thursday, we're looking at variably cloudy, warm, breezy conditions, humid with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. In the tropics, we're watching a tropical wave over the central Atlantic now. It has a medium chance, about 40% chance of tropical cyclone formation as that system continues to move westwards towards the Caribbean. We're going to keep an eye on that over the next few days. But that's your morning blend weather check. Back here with Morning Blend. Safety in light of what happened in Florida, that horrible situation in Surfside. You can call in with your questions, 323-6232 or 325-4316. And tweet us, Facebook us, or text us, 422-4796. Is there a one-stop shop place where people can go for information that if you're not a contractor, not an engineer, you just want to know how far should the building be from the road, how high a railing should be, what are the standards, do we have those type of standards? Where can people get information like that?
Well, to answer the question, the answer is yes. We have that all at the Ministry of Public Works, the Town Planning Department. Now, in terms of one-stop shop, I would say if you engaged the services of a professional architect, they would have collated all that information and have that at their disposal. But if you were to be a novice and want to go there, you want to find out how far your building should be from the road, the setback requirements, what's not. You call the Department of Down. Anything more about how your home should be constructed, which should be your steel you put in your building. You have to look at your drawings and talk to your structural engineer. But there's typical offerings in terms of what you could use for a typical residential home at the Ministry of Public Works. And they will give you a drawing. They will show you what you should put in your beam, how much steel should be in there, the columns, foundation, and footing. So the Ministry of Public Works have a lot of the information. So if you go there as a resource, they could help you out if you ask the right questions.
Yep. All right. Let's take a look at these text messages. Someone says, thankfully, Bahamians have been proactive in cases where buildings were deteriorating to a point where the potential for collapse was high, such as the General Post Office, although that took a long time, road traffic buildings, and others. Also, remember downtown Rodney Bain building, that was condemned for a bit. Yep, I guess, although some people felt that we're hanging on to some of those a little too long, but we haven't had a catastrophe, thank God.
Absolutely, and we don't have a catastrophe because our foundations are on really. We may have a different conversation happening right now.
Wow, let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on Morning Blend Business.
Early days in this dark university along with you, Dwight.
Hi. Good morning.
Okay, Dwight. What's your the gentleman name again?
Leonard Sands.
Sands.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Sands.
Mr. Berman, how are you?
I'm holding, thank God. Let me ask you something. First, let me make a comment. The government has a lot of buildings in which they had acquired, buildings in which they had bought, and they're just there. You know, the element are destroying them. Being a member that works for government, right? Mm-hmm. And at Ministry of Works, why is it that you all allowing the buildings to just deteriorate?
Well,
I can answer the question. Now, obviously, I do not work for the Ministry of Public Works, but I see the same thing you see. And I ask the same question. When I ask the questions, buildings, they've been long leasing and renting those buildings for many, many years.
No, I'm speaking about the ones who they had acquired and also bought.
Well, the buildings would they own? They have the maintenance department at the Ministry of Works that should maintain those buildings. However, I know a few of my friends work there. There are not as many people who work on this island in New Providence for the Ministry of Public Works and the maintenance department that you think. When you think about all the government buildings, we probably have only about 15, 20 guys in the maintenance department. It's impossible for them to maintain all those buildings. It's just not something within their capacity. Now, as you can see, this is why in the budget, there's a lot of money for capital works, which includes, if you look at the line items, the maintenance of these said buildings, their contractors, to maintain this building. So to answer you succinctly, I think that is sometimes taken too long for them to get to them. I think monies are being expended to address them. And in some cases, no buildings at all.
Wow.
So we see.
Okay. Let's see if we can take that other call there. Good morning, caller. You're on Morning Blend Business.
Morning, Dwight, and morning to your guest.
Hi.
Morning.
I want to ask him one or two questions. What is criteria for you to be a contractor? And I would say, how much gas it should take before you say you're a contractor?
I was hoping I didn't get that question asked this morning. So, as it stands right now, the law is you do not need to have anything more than possibly maybe a year experience, and you go down to the department and get you a business license to be a contractor with 2 references, and you will get a business license to conduct construction or contracting services. There is no other requirement under the law at this present time.
Well, now you see why I asked that, because that's one I thought. Everybody comes in as contractor, and they don't. For me, I think you should take at least working with somebody for 5-6 years, and you could get that experience. And
You and I both, sir, and that provision is already set out in the Construction Contractors Act 2016. This is now 2021, and it is not yet enforced by the appointment of the board to regulate the licensing of contractors. That's a matter that is beyond my control and rests in the lap of the Minister.
That ain't solving the problem, because we still have shabby work going on, because you have a fellow, let's say, he's working on Paradise Island as a waiter or something, all of a sudden he say he's contractor.
Absolutely. And he has every right to do so right now. Every right. He can do that right now.
Yeah, but that's not right. That needs to be corrected, because people's going to continue to get shabby jobs. Yeah. Then another thing I heard you mention, let's say if the architect missed out column or something. Now, an experienced contractor, he will pick that up. But the person who,
right. It's a matter of public safety that we proposed the legislation. The Parliament of the Bahamas at the time passed the legislation. It's gazetted. It is still not yet enforced.
Boy. All right, it's a lot to think about there. It sounds like we may need to have you back, Leonard, for another show. But that was good stuff there. A lot to think about, folks. We have to take it upon ourselves, it seems, to ensure that we are working and living in safe environments. And we can't be passive about this. Got to be proactive and go out there. And if you see something, get a professional to do a proper inspection on this, so that we can avoid any mishaps. Leonard Sands, thank you again. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right. That is it for Morning Blend Business and Morning Blend. I'll be back tomorrow morning with more here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan, have a great day, everybody. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green coming up next.